T Kelly. I put the link in the chat. I hope it works. I've never added anybody, but let's try it. Do I have to turn off YouTube for restream? I don't know. Outlaw? Yes. Just click on the link when shut down, then shut down YouTube and only use. What is going on? I'm not using StreamYard. I'm using Restream. We'll try it. If you have an echo, then you can just shut it down, T. Kelly. Okay, guys. I'm waiting for T. Kelly to click the link. I'm going to play an intro that T. Kelly made for this live today. I hope it plays good. YouTube is just slow today. right. Thank you for that, T. Kelly. I put the link back in the chat. Did you see it? I'm waiting on T. Kelly. Let's say hi to Kirk's Revival, Bash, the Good Nunya, Outlaw. Did you see the link, T. Kelly? Anyway, I'm trying to. YouTube is super slow. Hey, Brittany, I'm waiting for the video to finish uploading. If not, I'm just going to play the audio. I'm waiting on T. Kelly. Click the link there. No link. It's in the chat. I'll post it again. Oh, there you are.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, T.
Can
Kelly.
everybody hear me? I'm here.
All right.
You're there.
My video is still uploading to YouTube. It has taken forever. It took like 45 minutes for the intro, which got a copy claim, but I'll just. So I may just play the audio.
Okay.
I really wanted to play the update about, well, the last update, which was on Summer's anniversary last year from the TDI, because they did say how, the YouTubers have really messed things up. But let me see if it's processed yet. YouTube
Are we in the chat? Can they hear us?
Yeah, they can hear us.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Outlaw and Bash and Brittany and Nunya. How's it going?
And thank you for that intro, by the way.
Did it play?
Yeah.
Oh.
It took 45 minutes to upload a 4-minute intro to YouTube today. I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. Let me see my video uploaded. Go ahead. You want to get started? I was going to do that. The last statement that the TBI put out about Summer. But
okay.
Go ahead.
Can everybody hear me? Outlaw and Bash and everybody, can you hear me?
Hey, Gina Marie.
I'm not seeing anything, so I don't know if anybody can hear me or not.
Can you guys hear T. Kelly? Hey, Emmy. Oh, no. It still hasn't uploaded.
So I guess they can hear me, right?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay, so the thing is, guys, that we're going to get criticism, especially from the tragedy pimps. They don't want anybody talking about Summer, and they're going to blame anybody that talks about Summer and say it's exploiting Summer or we're just using her name. That's not the truth. I have been on Summer's case since day one. She's a Tennessee girl. I wasn't on YouTube when Summer went missing. I was on Twitter in a missing persons group. I did spaces, 3 spaces on Summer exclusively with Jennifer Coffendoffer. She was my co-host for 3 spaces. So I do know quite a bit about Summer's case, and I'm really upset about the misinformation put out by the tragedy pimps. And TBI is very upset about the misinformation on Summer's case, and that's why we're doing this today.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and look that video up because this is still only 50%. YouTube.
Okay.
So
I can't see the chat, so I don't like that.
I'm just going to play it because I want to start off with the interview from the TBI, and there's pictures, by the way.
Hmm.
Do y'all remember when Molly and Betty went to Don Wells's job and carried on like idiots? And Betty was screaming at people. She's in the pond. You put the little girl in the pond. Well, there's pictures. Go to the TBI's Twitter page. There's pictures where they searched the pond, and this was before Molly and Betty went down there. Um, yeah, but okay, I'm looking for the interview. Okay, I'm just gonna play it for right now because the video is not uploading. Thank you, YouTube. Investigation. Before we get started, I want to stress that the investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells is very much active and ongoing. Please understand, in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, we simply can't speak to specifics. We appreciate you being here today and your continuing coverage of this case. At approximately 6:30 p.m. on this day, 1 year ago, Summer Wells, who was 5 years old at the time, was reported missing from her bin in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County. When we held the first media briefing on June 16th, honestly, we expected to have good news to report by the time the next media briefing came around. Unfortunately, instead, day after day ended in frustration and disappointment. At that time, no one expected that we would still be searching for Summer 1 year later. We've said at the beginning that this case is outside the norm. There are few clues as to what happened to Summer, despite investigators doing everything within their power to find answers. All possibilities are still being explored. I mean, you can't see anything because it's audio only. I'm still waiting on the video to process. I uploaded it at 10:15 and it still hasn't processed on YouTube. It's taking forever for a short video. So I'm playing the audio of this, and hopefully the video will be done by the time I play this audio so we can see Justin's reactions. Hey, Clemson girl. Many of you have asked for details about what's been done over the last year. I can tell you agents and detectives have spent thousands of hours on this case. Numerous search warrants have been executed, cell phone data has been analyzed, and any other available digital evidence has been collected, searched, and documented. This includes the social media accounts of those associated with Summer. 3 large ground searches have taken place in the last year with the assistance of more than 100 local, state, and federal agencies. Those searches do not account for the numerous targeted searches done by agents and detectives as they were following up on potential leads. From TBI alone, more than 100 agents, intelligence analysts, and support staff from across the state have been involved in this case. TBI agents working alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI have conducted nearly 170 interviews during the investigation. That does not count the hundreds of phone calls made to follow up on tips reported to law enforcement. While investigators have been diligently working to find answers, they've had to deal with the thousands of tips generated by false information that in some cases has been intentionally spread across social media platforms. We know that this case has attracted the attention of individuals across the country who genuinely care about Summer and want nothing more but to help us find answers. We appreciate those people. However, we are also aware that there are some people using this case for their own personal gain by spreading false information on social media posted as facts. Some go as far as to solicit donations. This has had a major impact on the investigation and not in a good way. Moving forward, we ask the public not to submit tips as a result of a video they viewed on YouTube or a theory they've seen posted on Facebook. Please help us and only call if you have direct, specific information about the disappearance of Summer. This investigation weighs heavily on us all, and I can promise you that no one wants answers more than we do. We
Okay, I don't want to hear him.
Why? And then that's as loud as I can get it. I recorded this off their Twitter page, and I had my volumes the whole way up. Um, yeah, YouTube. I don't know why they're taking so long. Why don't you want to hear him? Did
Okay,
you hear what she said though about the YouTubers?
yeah.
People were calling in. Oh my god!
Okay, so let me explain to everybody. In the very beginning of Summer's case, I actually talked to a representative from TBI by the name of Joshua, and I could call in and I could talk to him. One of my concerns with Joshua was that if you go back and look yourself, you can find the research. When Summer was first reported missing at 6:29 by Dawn, not by Candace. Dawn called in first. They said she was 4 years old. They said she was 3 feet tall. So my group on Twitter did some investigation and we were like, hold on, wait a minute. She's 5 years old. They quickly corrected that. And we did a side-by-side comparison and somebody did some scientific stuff with the barrel that she was standing in front of. And Summer was taller than 3 feet. Summer is tall. If you look at the pictures of Summer with her brothers, she was quite tall. So Dawn and Candace had a lot of information wrong when they reported her missing. Dawn could
Hold
not
up,
even.
Kelly. Wait. I thought it was like a 5:30. She was reported. No.
No,
Okay. Hey,
no, that's a
thanks for coming up. I'll let
okay.
you, Kelly.
That's a misconception. The call records show that Dawn actually called in at 6:26. Candace called in at 6:29. Those are the 911 calls. The sheriff's deputies didn't arrive to the house until just before 7 p.m. That's fact. You can look it up. So that's part of the misconceptions of what was going on in this case, along with the first descriptions of Summer were false. The picture that they put out, the very first picture that the public got to see of Summer, she had hair. We all know that she didn't have hair at that time. Her
Yeah,
head
she had
was
a
still
real
shaved and
short haircut.
it was starting to grow in a little bit. But my point on that is that there was a lot of misinformation, but some of it was given to the police by the parents. The police didn't know how tall Summer was, and they didn't know that she was 5, not 4. So that timeline. Kathy, can you put up the picture that I showed you of the driveway?
Yeah, let me get
it. So everybody, I don't know about you in the chat, if you could respond in the chat. Was your first impression of the house and the property from Chris McDonough's video, where it showed that he could stand on the top of the hill and he could look all the way down at the cars, and he could look down all the way down at this trail that they called the dog trail? Because when I talked to people on Spaces, that was their impression. They were like, wow, well, you could see everything. That's false. In June in Tennessee, it is so lush and so green that you cannot see. You can't see 2 feet in front of you on a lot of those trails. You can't see up the Wells driveway. You can't see down the Wells driveway. From Ben Hill Road, you cannot see up that hill. They're at the top of a hill, and their driveway is like a horseshoe, and it's like wide enough for one car. It goes up, it veers off to the left, goes around to the back side of the house, goes in front of where Grandma's travel trailer was. Then it goes over to where there was some cars and some little sheds, loops around, goes down, back down to the steep hill to Ben Hill Road. But you can't see a thing. Not a thing. So Kathy, I can't see the comments, so if you could read some of them to me.
Okay, just a minute. I'm trying to get that picture uploaded. Send it to me.
So if you guys think about a standard barrel, they're all about the same size. The oil barrels are all about the same size. I'm 5 feet tall, and a barrel comes about up to my chest. Okay. Yeah, I'm a big girl. I'm 5 feet tall. So when Summer was out playing around the barrel, you can obviously see that if she was 3 feet tall, she would only come up to about half of the barrel. And that wasn't true.
Okay. I'm going to add that picture.
My point also about the denseness of the woods in Tennessee in June. A lot of the tragedy pimps, we all know, put Jody Sue up on their panels repeatedly. And she spewed a bunch of stuff. And a bunch of people got really, really upset that TBI and Hawkins County didn't act on her statement that she heard a scream. So let's go backwards and think about her very first statement. Jody Sue's first statement was she was inside the cabin with her 3 children.
It won't show it. Okay.
Her cabin is across the street from the wells. It kind of goes up, and it's also in the woods. It's not like right on the edge of the road. So she's inside her cabin with 3 children, and her very first statement was, I heard a muffled scream. Now, I can tell you, if I'm inside my house with 3 people, even kids, in June, I can't hear what's going on outside because it's so thick and lush that the sound is muffled. When she made her second statement, it was a louder scream. It wasn't muffled. Then when she made her third statement, it was actually, there was an animalistic scream that brought us all out of the cabin to look. And at that point, we saw a car going up the hill at the Wells house. She couldn't see a car in June from her cabin going up the hill to the Wells house because it's not visible. I've sent Kathy some other pictures where you can see in the trees and you can't see. That's actually, then the driveway is actually the day after Summer went missing. The actual day after Summer went missing.
It won't upload it. I don't know what's going on.
So you can't show the picture?
It won't. Yeah, I'm trying to share it and it's not letting me share it. Nothing. I'm trying it under a presentation.
No.
Under
Okay.
video. I'm trying it under everything and it keeps telling me it's not supported. I don't know what's going on with Restream.
Okay, is there anybody that has any questions in the chat? I really want them to see that picture.
I do too. I don't understand why it's not letting me share it.
So if you go back to my videos that I have on my channel that I did on Summer, I did put the pictures of how lush and green. And I do believe that picture is in my video of the driveway because it's very important.
My video is down to 50-something seconds, and I do believe Justin has in the video there is some pics. I don't know why it's not sharing.
Yeah, but I don't want Justin's picture. I want my picture of the driveway. I don't know where Justin got his crap.
Yeah.
Justin wasn't there to take that picture. I was, so. So anyway, so Jody Sue is one of the people that helped the tragedy pimps put out a lot of information. So the timeline on Summer is at 6:10. Summer wanted to go back to the house. Now, Candace's story is that from less than 20 feet away from the door of the house, she took Summer by the hand and walked her into the house. Now, I'm not bashing Candace in any way, shape, or form, okay? But I'm going to tell you, I am a helicopter mom. My boys never went anywhere by themselves. My boys never had a babysitter. But I can promise you that if my boys want to go into the house and I'm down at the barn, which is 50 feet away or 60 feet away, I'm not taking them by the hand and walking them into the house. That's just not something we do in Tennessee. That's just not how it goes, right? So Candace is by far a helicopter mom. Walked her into the house. So at 6:12, 2 minutes after that's her testimony that she went back into the house and Summer was gone. That's 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Summer was barefoot. Her shoes were there. She was barefoot. She was gone in 2 minutes. That's the testimony. At 6:22, phone records show that Dawn and Candace were on the phone. So there's your timeline, guys. At 6:10, Summer supposedly walked into the house with Candace by the hand. At 6:22, Candace went to look for Summer in the basement. Summer was gone. And then Candace and Dawn were on the phone. Dawn calls Hawkins County at 6:26. That's when the call came in. Candace called Hawkins County at 6:29. At 6:30, deputies were dispatched. Now we're talking about
in the chat, and then let's hear what Outlaw has to say. Hey, Algie. Hey, Sally. Hey, Texas Tiffany. I'm still waiting on the processing, so I'm probably going to just play the audio till it finishes processing. I wanted to show the pictures. This is really not cool. What you have some input, Outlaw? Outlaw. Hello. He's up, but he's not talking.
Okay, so let me continue then.
He dropped down.
So from 6:10 to 6:30, a barefoot little girl vanished.
The terrain, I mean,
she was barefoot.
Yeah, and there's one way in and one way out, and it's a hill, and it's a dirt, rocky road. Yes. How could nobody have seen, unless it was someone that she was really familiar with and knew? But how would they, if Candace and Grandis was right there, how did they not see anybody coming or going if she was right there, as you call it, being a helicopter mom?
The property, you would any vehicle that was within the Wells property, you would hear the engine because of the way the trees are. It's an open circle in the center. It's very dense and thick all the way around. So the sound is going to reverberate to the center of the property, which is where Candace and Gramus were. So any vehicle engine is going to be heard at that point if it's coming up the driveway. Candace and Gramus never said they heard a scream. Jody Sue, way across the road in a cabin with 3 kids, claimed she heard a scream.
Outlaw, I'll re-put the link in for you, just in case that's what it is. I'll repost it.
Can the chat hear me?
Yeah, they can hear me.
Frustrating that I can't see the chat, but
you can on Outlaw said you can. Wait a minute. Hey, Clemson girl. You're having a hard time hearing me? Hey, Andy.
Okay, so another point I want to get to that is factual, and I learned this early on in the case from an actual deputy that was there the day Summer went missing. The dogs were there. When the police arrived, they brought dogs. The dogs were interfering with the police dogs. They were there. Dawn, who was supposedly at work, claimed that the dogs were not there. but he was at work. Don also claimed that when he arrived home, there were no deputies there. The deputies say they were there. So the dogs were there. The dogs bark. The deputy said the dogs bark. Chris McDonough said the dogs bark. The dogs were there. So that's another point of, did we hear anything? We didn't hear anything. The dogs would bark. That's
Hold
just
up, Kelly. Hold up,
the way it
is
is.
is that better, Clemson? Is my sound better? I don't want to sound muffled. Is that better? Okay. I reposted the link for out loud. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with these couple little. They're just because this video is still processing. It's taking forever. It's been processing for an hour and a half. It's a 40-minute video, for Christ's sake. Okay, great.
Would you please send the picture of the driveway to Outlaw and see if he can share it?
Okay. I don't know.
I want the picture. I want them to be able to see the picture of the driveway to understand what I'm talking about.
I don't know why it won't show, but can they post? Can they share content on? I don't know. This is the first time I've had anybody up on panel.
He should be able to.
But the pictures just like that are on the Twitter space or on the Twitter page. I can share that. I can go to Twitter and share that. Let me try it that way. Go ahead and talk while I bring up Twitter.
Okay, I just want to continue on with the timeline so people get an idea of the beginning of summer and what really happened, because that's where the misconceptions come in. So the dogs were there. Now here's the story. The boys were locked in the house from the time that Candace left. Candace did not take the boys with her. And the story was that they were going to go pick up Grandma's and a prescription, and they were going to go fishing. It later changed to they went swimming. At what point that it actually changed from fishing to swimming, nobody knows. I was squirming in my seat when Chris McDonough interviewed Candace because I wanted him to ask, was there fishing gear in the truck? They showed photographs of the truck that day. There was no fishing gear. The plan was to go fishing. Why would you lock 3 boys in the house and not take them fishing, was my question.
That doesn't make sense to me either. Were the boys even old enough, to be home like that by themselves all day? And why would you lock the door? What if something would happen?
Yeah, none of those boys were over the age of 12. So her story was that the boys were locked in, nobody could get in, nobody could get out. That was the story. But that story also changed because Don said that the basement door was open, or if it wasn't open, it was unlocked. He insisted on that. Candace insisted that the boys were locked in the house. My problem as an ex-child advocate for the court system, and anybody that works with CPS can say, why were 3 boys left home all alone all day? So Candace said that she left at 8 o'clock in the morning. Don said he left it between 8 and 9 in the morning. Discrepancy is that Don said the last time he saw Summer, she was asleep in bed. But he left between 8 and 9. Candace claims that they left at 8 o'clock, her and Summer. So there's a discrepancy, and that is documented that stuff was actually said. Okay? So then we have a timeline of where they went and what they did. At some point, Summer ends up with a bathing suit on. And it's said that they changed their mind and they went swimming. Where that bathing suit come from was never explained. So did she have it on when they planned on going fishing? And then at the end of the day, she ended up in a school outfit that they bought for her to start school in. Why was it in Grandma's truck, and why did she have it on? That has never been explained. So at some point during the day, Don claims that he got a call that somebody was around the property and had been trying to touch the boys. And this is something that really triggered me.
Wait a minute. There was someone on the property trying to touch.
This was a phone call that Don got that supposedly somebody was around, okay? But nobody went home. At 12:30, Candace dropped off the prescriptions for Grandma's. That's documented. At 1:30, Candace picked up the prescriptions. That's also documented. So you still have the boys alone from 8 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon. They're still picking up prescriptions. Don is supposedly at work. 3 boys home alone. Okay. Don claims
I want to show of the terrain around their house, so people can get an idea of how bad it was. Outlaw, I'm going to add you again.
Okay, so
okay, just look at the terrain. It was a hill.
Okay, why can't you show my picture if you can show that picture?
It won't share it for some reason. I don't know why it's not sharing it. I've never used Restream with content on my laptop before. It's not.
I sent them from Messenger. Can you share them from Messenger?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah, the Messenger. Okay, let me stop sharing because I don't want everybody to see all that. Okay, I'm not sharing. Okay. Outlaw, can you hear us?
I don't want to confuse the chat. I with the timeline and stuff. I can't see if they have questions.
That's why I would start playing Justin's videos.
Yeah.
But I want to put that picture up for you if you want it up. Okay. Let me get to it here.
So which Justin video do you have queued up first? What stupidity did he spew?
Where he doesn't even understand how many children they have between them.
Okay.
Those 3 little clips.
Yep.
Were the first ones I was going to start out with, and then I was going to. Oh wow.
Okay, guys.
I was going to say.
Guys, I want you to do the math here. When Candace was 19 years old, she married a man who was 41 years old.
Okay, well, wait till we play the clip so they get an idea of where it's coming from.
Okay. All right, play the clip. Something. I can't.
There's a picture. I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
And that's their house. That's their property. And all it is a big circle. Nobody can get in and out without being seen. If they were right there at the camper, regardless, if it was the back door, they would have had to have been seen.
Okay, you see something red in the picture behind the house? There's something. Yeah. Okay, that's a kayak, a canoe. It's right outside the door that supposedly Summer would have left from if she was in the basement. See how close it is to the camper?
Yeah.
Okay, can you show the picture that I have down the driveway of the day after someone went missing? It's dated.
Let me go back to Messenger. Oh, jeez, are you kidding me? Let me stop sharing. While I'm doing that, I'm going to play this clip for y'all. Come on. Why is this giving me such a hard time today? Okay, we'll start off with this clip. Until the video processes, I can only play the audio. Heartless. Regardless.
not.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we'll get into.
Okay, so that's Justin claiming that something should be done to Summer or to Candace or Dawn, regardless of whether they know something, regardless of whether they did something. He doesn't care. And he actually says that. Regardless if they know, regardless if they did anything, let's persecute these people. That's his mentality. That was MGL's mentality, Betty's mentality. Regardless of what we know, regardless of what they did. And he said it.
But we don't. You can't do that though. I mean, even the police. Are you talking about this one, Keith Keller? That's not the driveway.
I can't see.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
It should have a date on it that says June 16th in red. And it's
thick brush. It says 6:15.
That's the driveway. That's the day that Summer went missing right there. And that is the actual photograph of the driveway that day.
Okay. Now y'all see it? Okay, yeah. There you go. There you go. Really overgrown.
Now, if you go down, look down to the very dark end of that, that's where Ben Hill Road would be, and across that would be where Jody Sue claims she saw something. You got to go down that dark path of the driveway, cross Ben Hill Road, go into the woods again to be where Jody Sue was. Now tell me what she could see. Tell me what you all see.
I honestly think, I don't even think the TBI took her statements seriously either.
They did not. They did not.
I have issues with her statement.
So if anybody has any questions about TBI and what TBI statements are or what was said, because there are creators who have said Dawn and Candace have been completely cleared. That is completely false. No one in this case has been completely cleared. It's also been said that that there's a red van that's involved. That's completely false. You can go to TBI website, press releases, and they answer every question that they can answer as far as evidence that they can actually let the public know about. Obviously, we with a brain know that they cannot release information that would damage the case. Of course, we also know that these tragedy pimps like Justin, MGL, Betty, they want that information. Well, they're not going to get that information because it would damage the case. So anything like somebody's been cleared or we're looking for a vehicle or whatever is going to be right there for everyone to see on TBI's press release website. If you don't see it on there, then TBI doesn't find it credible enough to put on there. Or they think that it's going to damage the case if they put it out.
Okay, I'm going to share the video. It finally processed.
What's the video that we're showing?
Everything with the clips we're going to review, and there's some of the timeline he went over. I got to fast forward it a little bit because we already listened. Well, we listened to part of the interview. Let me do that real quick. You didn't hear what the rest of what the police officer had to say. But okay, yeah, it processed. All right. Thank you, YouTube. All right, here we go.
Good morning. As Leslie mentioned, we didn't expect this case to be going on a year later. It's heartbreaking to me and my officers and the entire community.
Now, everybody, the volume's really low. I did everything I could. I got these off Twitter. But this was the year anniversary of her being missing?
We've never stopped looking for Summer. We will continue to do so. There's never been a case in the history of Hawkins County Sheriff's Office that had officers working 365 days and had so many hours spent as we had in this investigation. Also, this office has never utilized so many different local, state, and federal agencies from across the state. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation assists us in every step of this investigation. As you heard Leslie say, thousands of hours have been finding Summer, thousands of them. 170 interviews have been done. Many of these individuals have spoken to more than one time. While we haven't said a lot about the details about the investigative actions that's taken place, please know that we've never stopped. I deeply appreciate the many rescue squads, the EMAs, and the volunteer fire department for their help. And support from the citizens and the communities of this county is just unbelievable and overwhelming with the encouragement we get with the food during the searches we've done, and all the law enforcement officers, agencies throughout the state of Tennessee. It's just phenomenal how everybody did help us with these searches and with this investigation. And many of you have asked why that we didn't recruit private citizens to assist in these searches. With the extreme dangerous terrain that we were experiencing in searches, we were able to monitor each group and movement and their location. That way we knew that everybody came back to the command post safely. After the initial searches, then we had to go back and obtain the landowner's permission to search again. We could not allow or even grant permission for private individuals on these people's property. And while I can promise you that we will continue to conduct target searches in the Beach Creek area as new information is developed, we will also continue to follow up on any legitimate leads. And it's been the goal of this team since day one to find Summer. We've never stopped, we've never slowed down, we deal with it every day. And that's the whole purpose of this, to let you all know, despite what you hear, what you see, we haven't stopped. The men and women of these agencies have worked tireless, hours and hours and hours. And I commend every one of them for the job they've done, and we're going to continue till we find Summer.
Okay. Justin, old Spanky Boy, says that they're not doing anything and they're not going, to do anything to find Summer, and that they're not putting out any new information to the public. Well, they're not going to put out everything to the public, especially after all that's been done with this story, the way it's been twisted and turned. But T. Kelly, didn't they use sonar and all that stuff? The airplanes, the dogs, everything to look?
I can tell you that TBI, Hawkins County, and volunteers have searched over 3,000 acres surrounding Summer's home. They have searched every body of water more than once. They have had divers in every body of water. They did that early on. They had drones and they had airplanes with ground penetrating radar fly over the entire Wells property and surrounding properties and every body of water. If there was a body, the ground penetrating radar would see it.
Okay. And there's a question in the chat. Dawn did, wait a minute. Dawn has said that he was at work.
Okay. So I kind of covered that when I started my timeline. Don said that he went to work, but the discrepancy is that Don says he left somewhere around 8, maybe 9. But Candace said her and Summer left at 8. But Don was already at work. Don claims he was at work but he claimed that he knew the dogs weren't home. The police officer said the dogs were home. What most people don't understand is Don did work for a boss, but Don worked as an independent contractor. Don is a drywaller. Once the houses get put up or renovated or whatever that job is for that day, Don, and if he wants a crew with him, goes into the houses alone and does drywall. So as an independent contractor, he doesn't have to check in, check out with his boss every single day. His boss is not there at the job sites. As you could see when MGL and Betty went and harassed Don at his job, Don and Candace were doing drywall in a new house. They were by themselves. There was no boss.
Mm-hmm.
So the boss is not on site, is what I'm saying. Okay. So yes,
Okay.
Don's boss did report that Don was at work that day.
All right, let's finish this little up. There's only a little bit left of this, what they have to say. It's so low.
We're not going to characterize cooperation at this time. Honestly, doing so does nothing but create more speculation, and it doesn't benefit the investigation. Thank you for asking.
Is there still a reward being offered if the information in summer's found?
Well, I can tell you that law enforcement did not coordinate that reward, so you would need to reach out to the Churchill Rescue Squad for information in that aspect.
Are the boys still releasing?
That's not something we can speak to.
Okay. There's some questions. I want to say hi. Commander, True Crime Dime, K-Mash, Voodoo. Commander said crazy, but I think things can be missed and mistakes made. Just look at the Kylie rod in plain sight, not found by FBI or local law enforcement. True. He woke up at 6:30 a.m. True Crime Dime says. Maybe Summer is on personal property. True Crime Dime says Dawn left for work at 7 a.m.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not saying that Don wasn't at work. I'm not saying when Don left. All I know is what the documented statements, and you can go back and find Don's videos that he has said himself. I'm not putting words in his mouth. He went back and retracted and said that he may have not left for work until 8 a.m. He said that, just like he did retract about the dogs. You can go and find him saying it himself, that the dogs were not there, that they had a tendency to wander off. But it was the deputies who said the dogs were there when they arrived. And then later on, Don retracted that. Okay. So he has retracted and gone back and forth on what time he went to work that day. So I'm not trying to be a tragedy pimp and say I know when Don went to work. I'm just saying that what he's saying is very confusing. Okay.
Yeah, they made a lot of different statements, and I don't know how much cooperation they really were, but I do know they did take their phones. And what I don't understand is Candace says that they were going swimming and fishing, but why would you only take one child and go pick up someone else?
Yeah.
And why would you leave the boys at home alone? I don't know. But let's get
by both accounts, the boys were alone from, at least we know for sure, 8 a.m. until 5:30.
All day.
That's a long day for 3 little boys.
Yeah. And one of Justin's big things is, which we're going to get into, this red van thing, the number of kids. Some are not eating for 19 hours. I don't know how the hell he knows she didn't eat for 19 hours, but anyway, let's start the video so I can see if Outlaw needs to be put back up.
It's not. We're talking to the sheriff constantly. We all work together as one team, and we're determined to find the answers. Thank you for coming.
Regardless of whether they did something to Summer or not, or if they know something or not, of people on that road who just doesn't. I mean, it's nine children that we know of between them.
Okay. I get that because, trust me, my opinion, I'm not, it's just my opinion and it doesn't have any bearing on Summer's case at all. Um, but I'm not going to get on here and outright accuse them of doing anything because I wasn't there. I don't know. All I know is their stories don't make sense, don't add up,
No.
and there's not a trace of anything from this child in an area where there's one way in and one way out. It's in the middle of June. Everything is all overgrown. She had no shoes on. And yeah.
But for him to say, regardless of whether they know something or regardless of whether they did something, let's just annihilate these people. We don't care what they know. We don't care what we have proof of.
Yeah.
And
someone
he can't do math, okay? Because we know that Candace had 2 children prior to marrying Dawn. She was married. She had 2 children, a boy and a girl. Prior to Dawn meeting Candace, coincidentally, he had a boy and a girl. Let's all do the math for Spanky. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, Spanky. Dawn and Candace have 4 children, Spanky. In what world does that equal 9, Spanky?
I shouldn't be laughing, but the way you said it is funny. But Voodoo Sue says, my thing is putting your daughter in sweatpants and a long sleeve jacket on a very hot day in June.
Yeah. Hot enough to go swimming.
And Periwinkle Violet says the dogs are not in a fenced yard. They are more like feral. They wander the entire neighborhood. They could be in one yard at 7 a.m., in another yard at 10 trying to get food. Nothing nefarious about it. But the one dog had puppies under the house, correct? Under the porch?
And she doesn't understand. This isn't a neighborhood.
Yeah, this is out in the middle. But I do believe the dogs would wander off and come back, come and go. They didn't take very good care of the dogs. That's evident.
I have been an animal rescuer for over 20 years. I run a sanctuary. I can tell you, these dogs, you want to claim that they're feral. The dogs, most of those dogs were born on the Wells property, which is 11 acres. Okay. And anybody that comes and goes on the property, the dogs are there. When the deputies arrived, the dogs were there. I'm not saying the whole pack of 13 were there, but there were dogs there. Summer raised a puppy. We all know that. That dog loves Summer. Those dogs were there. Now, yeah, they might wander around, but it's not a neighborhood. It's not what you see, house to house to house to house. That's not the way Ben Hill Road is. Everybody up there has property. And the Wells have 11 acres.
I got to maximize trucker here just for a minute so that I can. No. I got to turn up his volume. It's not letting me.
Yeah, Summer has 3 brothers. That makes 4. Summer and 3 brothers is 4. Add 2 plus 2 of the other children before that is still 8 on any day of the week, unless you're Spanky. I mean, he was adamant. He was absolutely adamant that there was 9 kids. If you're going to spew about something, at least know what you're talking about. You know, I'm not saying that anything I'm saying is written in stone or fact. Okay. What I do know is documented stuff. Okay. I found out about the dogs from an actual deputy that was there that day, that the dogs were there when the deputies arrived at around 7 p.m. The fact is that nobody knows if those dogs were there at 8 or 9 in the morning or 1 in the afternoon, because nobody was there except the 3 little boys that Candace swears were locked in the house. I don't know how she would lock the boys in the house, unless she had locks on the outside that they couldn't open. But Candace was adamant that they were locked in and nobody could get in. But Don was adamant that the basement could be got into in or out. So that point didn't make sense to me when I heard it.
Okay. Outlaw, I turned up your volume as best I could. I turned it up. I don't know if it'll help you. I had to, but okay. Um, we're gonna see here in a couple minutes. Justin makes a big deal about a red van, but my understanding and everything I've seen on the TBI's Twitter page and it's about a red pickup truck. I think a Tacoma with a big ladder rack. You know, but he really harps on this red van thing, and they weren't looking for a red van.
I want to know if anybody
Yes.
in the chat knows anything about a red van, not a truck, a van. Has anybody in the chat heard anything about a van?
And also, Candace didn't have custody of her other children, correct?
Candace lost custody of her other children when the little girl was 2 and the boy was 6 months old. Wow. She was 19. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. He shows pictures of the house and stuff. I tried to get some of that. There was I went to his channel to try to get clips, to call him out on, to show that he's wrong. But he has so much summer content. For the last 5 to 6 weeks, it has been live after live after live, regurgitating the same stuff. And he's just really hard to watch, video after video. And I would need 10 lives to go over. Oh, and that's just his recent summer content. If you go back, there's tons more. And I would need 10 lives to review it all, if even that's even possible. Because it's just so much. And he's doing it. Come on, let's be honest. Go look at his numbers. And I know that don't look at numbers. But if you look at his views on something that's not Summer Wells content, and then look at his views with Summer Wells content, it's not about this child for them. It never has been, in my opinion. They exploit this child. And by us doing this, I'm not doing it to exploit Summer. In no way, shape, or form. I just want the misinformation and the exploiting of her to stop. And he's, in my opinion, one of the biggest right now. That video after video, live after live. I mean, not biggest channel, but one of the biggest grifting off of Summer right now.
There is no red van. I don't know if he is mixing up that Candace's red SUV is not a van.
No, we're going to hear here in his content what he says. Apparently, he's done some, they have they've owned a lot of vehicles. There's disabled vehicles on their property.
Yeah, there's,
maybe at some time they did have a red van he had a red van in his name. But everything I found was about a red Tacoma pickup with a ladder rack.
Yeah.
And then he concentrates on the buckets in the back because he does drywall and it's the spackle. But
yeah, but the truck is maroon, and there is a big difference between red and maroon. And it's also, TBI has also stated several times that a passerby saw this truck, that somebody might have been going home from work, that they might have seen something on Ben Hill Road. It's not a suspect. Nobody's saying that that truck took Summer.
Right.
It was just somebody
Yeah, no,
said,
they didn't.
I saw a maroon truck.
Mhm. Well, let's play some more of this video so people can get where we're coming from with what you're saying. Like I said, this is various clips from Justin. There was just so much I couldn't get it all because in one there's just no way. But let's get back into this.
Hours of missing time. Yep. So, I was thinking about the time. Because, we didn't realize Grandis took a nap until she told us in that interview. So she took a nap, allegedly. It's a great thing to say. I mean, she may have taken a nap.
Oh,
She says she took a nap.
okay, hold up. I want to read that a little bit. True Crime Dime says the police specifically said they think the driver of the maroon truck saw it happen.
No.
I didn't see that on Twitter. Um, what I seen on Twitter from the TBI was that someone had reported they seen a red truck sitting there and they just wanted to talk to the person, but I could have missed it.
Wait a minute, saw what happened? Because if you listen to TBI, they specifically say there is absolutely no evidence that Summer was kidnapped.
Yeah, they did say that.
It's
Yes,
on
they
their
did.
website. So
Yeah,
saw what happened. Nobody saw something happen with a red or maroon truck because TBI and Hawkins County have been very, very adamant that there is absolutely no evidence that Summer was kidnapped.
yes,
So,
yeah, they have.
so that statement that somebody in a maroon truck saw it happen, there is no it that happened. Period.
All right, let's get back into justice.
But at 2 to 2:30, Candace dropped off Hunter, right?
Okay, wait a minute. What happened? He was so adamant about this nap thing, and then he changes. And this is in the same video. I didn't cut any of that out, and he jumps to this. That was it for the nap that he was so adamant about.
By 3:15, she is at home, right? And
True Crime Dime.
and at around
True Crime Dime says, I'm getting the exact date in press conference. They absolutely did say that. Okay. Well, please get it, True Crime Dime, because I'd like to see it. Hey, T. Marie. Hey, Steven. I know I missed Google. Mexico, thanks for coming in. I think I hit everybody. Okay. Let's get back into Justin because he's a lot to watch.
4 or so, 4:15 approximately, that is when this plant flower bed stuff. Now,
Okay, first off, it wasn't a flower bed. There is no flower bed. There were some planters there. But it wasn't a garden or a flower bed like you keep saying, Justin. I mean, I've seen the pictures are in here for the show.
first of all, if I've never believed the plant story, to be honest with you, I think it's a filler. I think they may have done it the day prior, the week prior, or whatever.
Okay, wait a minute.
Is he
Stephen,
on
I don't know who you
vacation?
are, and you're welcome, but I'm not a tragedy pimp. I have never tragedy pimped off anybody. So you're wrong, and we're not getting the facts wrong. The facts are from the TBI and coming out of Justin's own mouth. Um, so yeah, like I said, you're welcome here, but be respectful. Marie, I'm gonna mod you, so I have a mod in here. And Nanya's here. I stepped out for a moment, came back to shambles. Who was informing you? Oh, thank you, Nanya.
Yeah, it's ridiculous when TBI says if you want information and you want to ask your questions, it will be on our media website. There is absolutely nothing about a red van. There is absolutely nothing about somebody witnessing. And there is also a statement on TBI that says there is no evidence that Summer was kidnapped. Again, no evidence. Now, we're playing Justin in his own words. In his
Mm-hmm.
own words. So, how are we doing misinformation by saying he's wrong? It's his words against TBI's words, not our words.
Exactly. And I'm not a tragedy pimp. I don't tragedy pimp up children and victims and their families. I'm doing this to show the misinformation and to get some facts out because our anniversary is coming up, and I'm sure the TBI will be releasing another statement. Um, I just didn't want to do it on her anniversary. Um, I will light a candle for that little princess, and I pray for her all the time. But don't call me a tragedy pimp, dude. You don't know me. You don't know my channel. I don't pimp. I don't tragedy pimp.
Pop his little ass right back to Justin's.
Yeah. I mean, he's welcome as long as he's respectful. I modded some people, so we have some wrenches in there. Because, yeah. Let's get back into old things.
Kathy, didn't you play the press conference?
Yes.
Did you
At the
hear?
beginning.
Did you hear in the press conference that somebody in a maroon truck saw Summer get kidnapped? Because that did not happen.
No. I went through the Twitter pages, and I played the videos, and I played the updates, and all they said is they were looking to talk to the person in the truck because the truck was spotted
Yeah.
on the road at the end of the truck
And
by the driveway.
I believe the
Yeah.
exact words were TBI was looking to see if the person saw anything. That does not mean that they think that the person saw it happen. That is a completely different statement.
Hold on. Steven says you're putting out misinformation about another creator being wrong when it's you that's wrong. How am I wrong? How am I putting out misinformation? Please tell me. Because I'm playing him his own words. I didn't put these words in his mouth. Dude, you give me way too much credit because I don't even know how to edit and shit. So, um, if you're a Justin troll, fine. You're welcome here. But other than that, be respectful. Hey, Blake Screen. I'm not putting out any misinformation. I mean, come on. Justin said she had 9 freaking kids. They had 9 kids. You can't even add 1 plus 1. My 7-year-old can do that. I'm just saying, I'm not putting out. Thank you, True Crime Don. I'm not putting out misinformation here. I'm playing Justin's own words. That's who's putting out the misinformation. And again, Stephen, you're welcome as long as you're respectful. That's all I ask. Because I wouldn't go into your chat being disrespectful. Let's get back into Spanky. Or Orange Band.
Can you find the scoop on Grandma's ex-husband that died?
Why?
What does that have to do with it?
Why?
What does that even have to do? See, that's what makes me irritates the heck out of me with these people. They dig into these people's histories with their great grandparents, their grandparents, all this stuff. And what does it have to do with it? Nothing. You're mucking the waters. That's what you're doing. You need content because you're regurgitating the same stuff over and over and over again.
Probably have it on them. I mean, pretty much like.
Justin, Yeah,
No,
I
yeah.
that's a truthful statement from you. Probably the most truthful statement we're here. You even have stuff you made up. So yeah, okay.
How does a man who died before Summer was even born have any bearing on Summer?
They do. They all
None.
do this. Betty does it. Laura does it. Dolly. You know, it doesn't. And all they're doing is muddying the waters in my and trying to get people to believe their theories that are really off the wall sometimes. But let's get back into old Spanky Boy.
Yeah, guys, hit that. Thank you, True
Oh my
Tory.
God,
Um,
he's like in
Okay,
slow
and
motion
on your
all
note, they
the
don't have
time.
9 kids. Dawn had two children to a previous relationship. Candace had 2 children to a previous relationship, and then they had 4 children together. So there was a total of 8 children, not 9. They had 9 kids total. No, they didn't.
And it doesn't matter.
They don't have another child that maybe we don't know about.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to be doing this to help find Summer or find out what happened to Summer, not digging into somebody's personal history that doesn't have a damn thing to do with Summer.
Exactly. Well, let's get back into Spanky.
but I've never felt like that was right. But then, when would she have taken a nap, and how long did she take the nap for? There is an obituary on him. Well, we know who Candace's ex boyfriend, who she had the baby with. He died right, wasn't long before the baby was born. So
Is
we
this
know.
the 9th child maybe he's talking about?
What,
Was you aware of this?
my point is, why does a dead grandfather or husband of Candace Harrer, way before
Well, they
Summer
were
was
married.
born, why does this guy matter? Why is Justin digging into people's personal lives that do not have an effect on finding Summer?
Okay, they're saying that Summer or Candace had one that was taken at birth. I I didn't see that anywhere, so I don't know. But if that's the case, okay, again, what does that have to do with Summer? But okay, let's get back into Spanky.
That. So, in my opinion, this is filler. This is filler. It just fills
You're
in
filler,
time.
Justin. Your head is filler.
Guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. We need the thumbs up, please.
I didn't do a lot of stopping and starting with the editing because I didn't want anybody to say I was playing with his words. So there is some fluff in here, but that way they couldn't say I was putting, making it seem like what it wasn't. That's why I left it like that.
Right? The Predator 2.
I'm not feeding you right now. Go away.
Yeah. Do you know I work behind the scenes? What do you mean you work behind the scenes? Where the Candace S.O. uncle lived at the time Summer was missing. Oh, I think he was locked up still by the time Summer went missing. Hey, Glam It Up. Good to see you.
He's a
Thank you,
great
Spartan, for
researcher, but he
hitting that thumbs
thinks
up.
that maybe this guy was locked up.
So, if this was taken, first of all, who's going to work their flower bed after being gone all day long, and according to Candace's word, said they were just going out for just a minute, and that was, to take Grandis to the hospital. And I don't know what any hospital takes a minute, much less going to tobacco and vape shops and swimming and picking up medicine and grocery stores.
Okay. Yeah. Nanya, I didn't find anything about her losing a child at birth, having a child removed at birth. It could be possible. I just know about the 8.
Well,
I didn't find anything about her having a child taken at birth. It doesn't have anything to do with the case, but it does if it's. I'm trying to show that he's passing off misinformation. Um, I am gonna. I looked at everything. I've been looking. I'll look again.
it's misinformation to say that it relates to the case or to finding Summer or to helping Summer or helping anyone. To dig
Okay, my
into
question
somebody's life.
about all this is dealing with the foster care system and stuff. Um, usually, when and I'm not trying to knock her parenting or anything, but usually when someone keeps getting children removed like that, as soon as they do give birth, because I've had to go to the hospital and pick up a baby, um, they don't give the parent custody. But yet she was able, after having several removed, she was able to keep custody of these ones. That's
Okay,
uh,
well, I can explain it from a standpoint of, let's just say that this is just an example, so don't let the little simps go nutso, okay? If I
okay.
was
Chill.
an advocate for one of the Wells children, a court advocate, which I did, and I sat down with that child and I wanted to know what he knew about Summer and what his life was like in that house. As a court advocate who had to testify in this case, I could not say, oh, way back when Candace was 19, she gave up a child. As a court advocate, you can't say that. You can't research it. You can't think it up because it's not relevant. As a court advocate, to justify what happened to Summer and those boys, you're only allowed to do what is relevant in that time frame of what was going on with this case. Candace giving up
Well, I
a
know here
child,
in Florida.
Candace giving up a
Um,
child has no bearing on Summer at all.
did she give it up? Or because if uh, like the baby I picked up, the parents already had multiple children that were removed and placed into care. So therefore, as soon as she gave birth, 7 times after that, the babies were all placed in care because of that. So if she voluntarily did it, then yeah, I can see that. Okay,
We all
let's
know
get
that
back in this
Candace
thing.
was an addict. She admits that she was an addict in her younger years. If that was the case, that any child was taken or given up or anything, then it was the best thing for the child at the time, and it has no bearing on Summer at all. Period. Why these people
Let's
are
get
so
back.
invested in that is what is crazy.
Okay, let's get back in this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the laundry is just. She may have done laundry, but in my opinion, she was doing laundry to clean up something, maybe, allegedly. Thank you.
No, Nanya, he was just saying how many kids they have between the two of them. Um, to Spanky, it's relevant.
Yes.
But honestly, it's not relevant to the case. They weren't around. They weren't there. They weren't in the household. They weren't. She didn't have custody. He didn't have custody. Um, but yeah, that's all. It was just something Spanky put out there. I couldn't find anything about her giving a baby up at birth, but it could be out there. I'll keep looking. I don't see what it has to do with it, but okay.
For hitting that thumbs up button. Candace shut down completely when she was asked about Rose, grandma's ex-husband. Um, Candace didn't do, and this is the only time I've ever seen this that I'm aware of. Always watching. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Thank you. Appreciate your membership, guys. Welcome. Always watching to our family here. Um, so
What does Rose's ex-husband from years ago have anything to do with it?
Can we stop there for a second, Kathy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, Way back when Summer first went missing, and the misinformation pimps were trying to say that Don and Candace actually had something to do with Rose's disappearance. They pushed it, as a matter of fact. So I actually got in touch with Rose's husband. Now, he did not want to do interviews. He did not want to be on YouTube um, because of his daughters. So I did talk to him, and I asked him those specific questions, and he was very adamant. Don and Candace, he's never met Don Wells. They didn't know each other when Rose went missing. Um, Rose was the one who turned Candace in for her two children. Candace knew that. It split up their relationship. They stopped speaking. Candace went off on her own. Later on, she met Don. They had their first son. They were not living in Wisconsin where Rose was at the time. Her husband does not believe that they had anything to do with Rose's disappearance. He has never remarried. The craziest thing that he told me, and I've never understood this to this day, was that Grandmas had permission to see Rose's daughters, who were young at the time. She started to see them sporadically, but then she just stopped. She just stopped. She didn't call them. She didn't come and see them. He wanted her to. Why would you not keep in touch with your dead daughter's children, little girls? That put me into a shock. But the misinformation that was put out by people that there was a connection between Rose and Summer and Dawn and Candace had something to do with it is completely false. If you look at the timeline, it's false. Do your own damn research on that. I'm not an expert on it. I just talked to the man. Okay. I'm just putting that out there.
All right. I'm not trying to spread any misinformation. Everything that I've researched was just about the 8 kids. I have found nothing about a ninth child or a child that was given up at birth, and I've looked, other than what Justin is saying. Um, so there could or could not be. All I know is what I've looked up, what I could find. There was 8 children in total. Maybe they didn't talk about it. I don't know.
Oh, the only time I've ever seen a mother wait 2 weeks after her child went missing to be in the media. Thank you, Brandy B. Thank you, my love. Appreciate
You're
you.
not media, Justin.
Mods, if I miss anything on my side, it doesn't call or anything. It'll make a dinging sound, but it makes it delayed. So if you guys can let me know if I miss something, please. Please, I don't ever mean to miss anything. 13 days. Might as well say 2.
This is another one. Wait, I want to read chat a minute here. Yeah, I agree. In fact, that's one of the things I go by is, as the good old Dr. Phil would always say, um, the greatest predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior. And, I'm probably going to take heat for this, but in my opinion, she should have had custody of those kids. That's just my opinion, man. But everything that I've looked up, I didn't find anything about her as an 18, 19-year-old, whatever age she was, 19, 20. I didn't find anything about that. I only found about the two that she had previously and the two that he had previously. And that's why I asked T. Kelly if there was a child that maybe nobody knew about that she just didn't talk about. And then the four they had together. That's all I could find info on.
And I want to say, when he puts in his titles, Summer Wells, and when he hashtags Summer Wells, and he's talking about the disappearance of Summer Wells, and he brings up the past history of Don and Candace and their children, he is making it relevant to Summer's case. Now, you can argue all you want that he's not doing that. That is your opinion. It is my opinion that when he uses her, hashtags her, he's making it relevant to Summer's case. Boom.
Okay. I,
But they're
oh, wait a minute. I know by sitting in the many, court hearings and stuff, um, to me, past behavior can be relevant to cases. But a lot of times the court would say, the judge will say, well, that was so many years ago. People grow, they change. In my opinion, she didn't, but okay.
As a
15
former
days
court
before.
advocate who had to testify, I can tell you that if I went to testify, I could only testify as to what I found out in research about past abuse behavior, but not giving up a
Right,
child.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where she
If
went
it was
live.
something like with my kiddos, there was two previous children that were adopted out. Um, that couldn't be brought into
No.
this current couldn't be brought into their current situation.
Right.
The judge would not allow it.
Right.
Live, or not live, but anything to do with being interviewed in the media. 2 weeks. Don and AB were seen the 15th around 3 to 3:30. Also seen leaving the back of the holler, Penny says. I'll be honest with you. I think I wonder about Andy sometimes, to be quite honest with you, because why, according to all counts, Dawn, Candace, Jody Sue, and others, why
But wait a minute.
was
Oh, this Jody Sue was not a reliable source of information, from what I've gathered from the TBI and stuff. Oh no, it messed up. Let me see if I lost my spot.
he died? Wouldn't
Yeah, I lost my spot. Let me get back up to it. Here we go. All right. So I,
talk about that just for 1 second with that comment. All right. So when you're in any type of construction, you have a truck, right? What does the trucks have?
and what was this Andy? Why is he so?
Well,
He,
there's a bunch of Andys. That's the problem. Um,
he
Rose's
yeah,
ex-husband,
he didn't say what.
Candace's ex was an Andy. Jody Sue's ex-husband is an Andy. Um, Candace's son from her previous relationship is an Andy. There's 4 Candaces, 5 Candaces. It's crazy. I think he's talking about Jody Sue's husband.
Oh, they have a
Yeah, because he said about Jody Sue. That's why I was asking you, because I knew that her ex,
Yeah.
and there were some questions in that. Like I said, there were some questions about her statements that she's given too.
Yeah.
But he's got a whole video about Jody Sue. So
ladder rack, right? Constructions trucks have a ladder rack. Oh, what else do drywall contractors have? Buckets. They have buckets in the back, right? Up in Don's yard, there's always 5-gallon buckets of mud, spackle.
So
Now, where that
nefarious.
truck is, I don't know. Candace and Don didn't do anything to help look for
He's
Summer.
really he concentrated quite a bit about the buckets.
It's back to the maroon pickup truck. The buckets could have been paint, they could have been drywall, could have been water, it could have been, who knows? They were white buckets in the back of a truck that somebody spotted on Ben Hill Road.
But that's what I mean. He acknowledges in here about the truck.
Yeah, but
But then later on here,
they couldn't even
we're going to see where he says
they couldn't
about the
even
red
pin
van.
down a time, an exact time. It was speculation of when this truck was seen on Ben Hill Road.
Right.
Now, you could flash a picture on the screen, and everybody that's sitting in chat, you can flash a picture on the screen and take it off. And when you take it off, every person in that chat is not going to have every detail of that picture right. You could put a blue shirt. Some people are going to swear it was purple. Some say it's red. Some don't know what color the shirt is. That's human nature. So this person who saw this truck that day, did they see it that day? Did they remember seeing a truck on Ben Hill Road? Maybe it was Thursday, maybe it was Monday, maybe it was red, maybe it was maroon, maybe it was a Toyota, maybe it was 1988, maybe it was 2000. You see how those details, they don't even have an exact time. The truck is from the 80s to 2000. There's a lot of differences between those models of trucks. But let's harp on that truck forever and think that it's going to find Summer.
Yeah, let's get back into this video.
The day they called, she was missing, and still
Oh,
today,
my iPad has
nothing to
fallen.
help. I believe they
I
made
swear
up
to God, he's
story of the
related to
flower
Sloth.
beds due to the dirt under the nails after. Oh wow, Stacy. Between 9 and 10, I would say, or somewhere 10 to 11 is when Candace arrives at his house. Per Hunter, he says Candace Bly Wells texted him saying that Grandis was in the hospital. When asked to show messages, Hunter stated that TBI still had his phone and he is using his deceased grandmother's phone in the meantime. He called her up and invited her over while she was waiting. Candace Bly Wells told him to ask his mom, which she said yes for a little bit because Hunter's grandmother was on the way. Candace Bly Wells said she would be over in 5 to 10 minutes. So Hunter was going to show the discrepancy with his phone, but he said he couldn't because he had hold on 1 second.
Kathy, pause that for a sec.
I'm stopped. Yeah. Go ahead.
So if you look on the TBI website, another thing that they had to say was that they have all phone records, have analyzed all phone records. They have that. So how is what Justin's doing with the damn phones, his research and relevant? When TBI, Hawkins County, the people who matter, have said they had the phones, Hunter himself said they took the phones, They have analyzed all the data. That's all that needs to be said about that. Right there. There's not a damn thing that Justin can do going in slow motion about these phones. Period.
He's doing it for content.
I swear to
That's
Christ,
it.
if you
He's
put him
just,
on 4 speed, he would almost be normal.
yeah, I might speed him up a little bit because he is really slow, and people are saying a whole lot of yawning going on. How can you listen to him? I don't see how anyone can watch it. Yeah, he was hard. I'm way too impatient for to get to the point, dude, and make it relevant. Yeah, he doesn't get to the point, and if he does, it takes 2.5 hours, and then it's like you feel deflated because the point just didn't hit home.
I would rather watch sloths race turtles.
Yeah, maybe I will speed him up a little bit because he's a lot. He's just a lot. Play that speed. Let's go to one. Let's go to 125. Sometimes I speed it up too much and they sound like a chipmunk, and then Jack can't hear 'em.
Doug is talking about how
Now this is another YouTuber that he's reviewing, and I think he's his name is Doug.
Doug, no
Dawn goes up.
thanks.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, seen him when I was doing the Jim Perry thing. I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna comment on it. But anyway, Dawn comes in to talk to him, and Justin is thrilled. He just thinks he got a bombshell on what Dawn says here. This way.
the bathing suit thing. And I want you to listen very carefully about.
I am so sorry about all the background noise with the crows and the squirrels. They want fed, and they're driving me nuts.
What Don replies about the bathing suit. Remember, he is saying about the Suburban. Well, she had that Suburban. Listen to what Don says, what is in the Suburban. He slipped, in my opinion. Listen. Hold on.
I believe Summer was left at home, so I'm wondering if she grabbed Hunter and then brought him back to your house, because that would have been the first time that day that he would have been back there.
She kept swimming stuff in the Suburban kids because we put the canoe on top of the Suburban.
Oh my God. Did you guys catch that?
Okay.
He was talking that she was always driving in the Suburban. Yes, you're getting it there, girl. He said she always kept the bathing suits in the Suburban.
But that's not saying she always drives the Suburban. He said she kept the swimsuits in the Suburban.
Are they
big deal.
Are they talking about Gramus's truck?
The Suburban. Who had the Suburban?
Grandis's truck.
Honestly, I keep a beach bag in my pickup.
Candace has a Subaru SUV.
Yeah.
It's not.
Exactly.
A Suburban is a Chevrolet.
But he said that they said she's always in the Suburban. No, what he said was she kept swimsuits in the Suburban. And what's the issue with that? Because I keep a beach bag in my pickup with extra swimsuits for my children.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, it
that
doesn't
just
mean
means I'm
anything.
prepared.
It's not a bombshell.
Yeah. But you heard him. Oh my God. And then he twisted to say, he said she always has the Suburban. That's not what Dawn said. And I'm not defending Dawn. I'm depending on what's being said here. He said swimsuit.
I think the mistake is that because of Gramus's knee, whenever Gramus was going to be with Candace or running errands, Candace drove Gramus's vehicle, which is normal because Gramus had a knee issue. What's the big deal about that?
I don't know what the big deal is about the swimsuits
There's
in the
not.
truck either.
There's not. I mean, you can carry
I don't
whatever you want in your vehicle all the time.
I mean, it's not a bomb shelter. I keep extra swimsuits and a beach bag in my pickup because we live 5 minutes from the beach. We always stop with the kid. We never know when we're going to sometimes. So I don't know.
So we're talking about Don Wells, who couldn't recall his daughter's birthday. So he's going to get details correct, please.
No, he actually says he doesn't. Here, we'll play some more.
In the Suburban. Really,
His
Don?
face.
That's the
Oh my
first
God, I
we knew
want
it.
to slap him on the back of his head and see if
How
we
is
can
that
shoot him
the
up.
first you knew it when Brandis owned the Suburban? How is that the first you knew it, Justin? Did you see his face? That's not new information. Am I correct there?
Yeah, they have pictures of them canoeing. All the boys. They have the canoes. They went canoeing.
Yeah,
So what? They had bathing suits. Oh my God, they had bathing suits. Oh my God.
And he's acting like nobody ever knew the Suburban existed, but it was Candace's grandma's Suburban, correct?
Who
So
cares?
it was there.
What does it matter? I mean, why? Why?
Well, like he twisted it and said Dawn said she's always driving the Suburban. No,
I
he
don't
said
know.
that she kept.
I'm convinced that Justin is going to find Summer. Whew.
Okay, I wish somebody would. Honestly, you know what? If it has to be him, so be it. Just find the girl. That's what I pray for.
Sitting on his arse behind a computer screen spewing stuff is going to find Summer? I don't think so.
Well, he's going down there.
Yeah.
He's not saying with who, and I don't know if ICU, who's went with him before, is going to go. He wouldn't talk about the Dolly stuff. It was, you could tell it was brought up to him in his chat during this.
Well, since there's censor in your chat, why don't they explain what him and MGL and Booby Betty and all of them did when they went to Summer's property before? What did that accomplish?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Grandma Sherry, thanks for coming in. Hey, Gina, I know I said hi earlier. Didn't know if you heard me. Just the look on his face, like he had some big mic drop moment there, and he didn't. Everybody knows about Grandis's vehicle. I mean, it's not. It was not private information that nobody knew. But okay, let's get back into the video.
So, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does it mean they was in the truck at some point that day?
They was. That's
and
good English there, boy.
They were in the Suburban later? Did they take separate vehicles? Is Summers, because TBI has never, has TBI ever said publicly that the milk jug photo was from that day?
And you're going to hear him say that TV the milk jug video, picture. But if you go to their Twitter page, the milk jug picture is right there on their Twitter page. And according to Dawn, that was the last picture taken of Summer on that day.
He just put Candace Wells in the Suburban, not the truck where the video was taken. That's exactly right.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think that, because Candace and Dawn put out that video. TBI has never put out the jug video. TBI has put out the milk jug video.
It's a That it's a
Why would they?
picture, and yes, it is on the TBI's Twitter page. Go ahead, T.
Why would they? Why do they have
Yeah,
to? Why would TBI have to justify a damn thing to a YouTuber? It's an investigation.
they said, yeah, they said the YouTubers did nothing but hurt the case, and that's in their own. And people grifted money and collected donations when, yeah,
As far as
that's in the video I played. Their video.
as far as I know, none of the YouTubers that have descended on the Wells property have had dogs that could sniff out where people are. They have not had ground penetrating radar. They have not had any type of detective training or skills, but yet they think going there is going to find Summer. I would like to know how in the hell.
By harassing and carrying on the way they did, if anything, it would make people shut down and not step up to speak because of how of their actions and their behavior. But again, that's just my opinion. Oh, and I never added my banner. Oh yeah, I did.
They
This is all just my opinion,
they
and
have
it is
had the
covered under fair
best
use, by the way.
they have had the best of the best search teams of 3,000 acres surrounding Summer's home with very detailed searches. I know that because
Oh, but
I'm
you
in
know what?
Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah. And let me tell you something though. I was on one of the search parties for Kaylee Anthony. And let me tell you, it was nothing like what Betty did. There was no one screaming on their phones or walking around talking on their phones. It was a very controlled search. You know, you weren't allowed to do that, number one. And number two, it was nothing like what Betty called herself doing. Um,
They
and that area where she ended up being found was underwater.
Mhm.
So you couldn't get to it. And I never talk about this, but I'm going to. It haunted me for months after that because I was so close to that area to where they ended up finding her. Um, and so and she's just a small child. There's wildlife, anything, she could have been this. It happens all the time. It's such a huge area to search. We weren't searching that huge of not like this, not this kind of area.
Mm-mm.
And look at how long it took to find the locator.
Yeah. But I mean, Justin and his whole little crew act like enforcement cannot do.
And law enforcement owes these guys nothing. They don't have to tell, honestly, they don't have to put out any information.
The less they tell, the better, actually, for a case. Really.
It, I mean, even law enforcement has stated how social media, the YouTubers and stuff, hurt this investigation. They interfered, they hurt it. I'm sorry, but if I lived there and they were down there carrying on like these people did, I wouldn't want to step up either. It would make me want to shut down because I wouldn't want them around at my home carrying on like idiots.
Well,
That's just my opinion.
one of the first statements that Betty said before they ever went was she was afraid to go there because of what the people were like and how horrible people they are. And then Justin in his video says that everyone who lives on Ben Hill Road are addicts and pedos and everything else. He says it in his own words in one of these videos.
And they don't know that.
They don't know
To be
that.
saying that stuff.
It's
And
horrible.
you know what? So what if someone was an addict in the past and they're in full recovery? So freaking what?
Yeah.
Now, as far as the pedo, I don't believe there's recovery for that. But okay. I didn't background check their neighbors, so I couldn't tell you. I'm sure they did though, but they often get their background checks wrong. So I wouldn't trust anything they say there
Yeah,
either.
often is an understatement on that.
Yeah. Let's get back into Spanky.
So my
Excuse
question
me.
is,
What is
is
it?
that milk jug video the same day, or was it the day before? Anyone ever hear about the Suburban that day? No, no. It's never been about the Suburban. Now, guys, get this. Get this. What did they do with that Suburban right after Summer went missing? What did they do with it? They sold it for $1,000.
Okay, that was Brandis's vehicle, not Dawn's, from what my understanding. But okay, they sold it.
No,
You don't think?
he's talking about a Suburban that was on the property, and Grandma's doesn't have a Suburban. She has a truck,
Okay,
as far as I know, a blue truck, a dark blue truck.
okay, then I was misspoken.
But here's the thing: they brought dogs
He had a
immediately.
lot of vehicles on that property.
They brought dogs immediately because the police were saying that the Wells dogs were interfering with their dogs. Okay, the dogs searched the vehicles. So if there was any signs that Summer had been in a Suburban, that they sold it because there was evidence in that Suburban, the vehicles were checked. It's on the TVI website.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Easy.
where they did. I mean, they're going to check. There were several vehicles on that
And they
property. They're
checked them.
going to check them.
They did. And they put the dogs in them. So again,
And the dog, the dogs, and I hate to call them, but they're cadaver dogs. Some of them aren't.
right.
But you know, that's what alerted with Casey Anthony's trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I believe that because I was a part of all that down there. I didn't go heckle and carry on like these people did. I tried to help by going on the search parties and stuff like that. I didn't stand outside and scream and yell and get people fired from their jobs because what purpose is that serving? None. I mean, those idiots at the Anthony home went way beyond, but I I don't get why they think what they do is good and helping. I don't know what they think they did to help because, in my opinion, they interfered and just made a muck of things.
They brought both teams of dogs out to the Wells property several times. They had tracking dogs and they had cadaver dogs. More than once.
Wait a minute. True Crime saying it was someone driving a company truck that a lot of officers here are familiar with. This gentleman, and we believe he actually saw it. Okay. Ronnie Lawson specifically says on June 26th, he said, and I quote, "It was someone driving a company truck. A lot of officers here are familiar with this gentleman, and we believe he actually saw it." Okay.
Again, saw it what? Because if you go to Hawkins County, they also say that there is no evidence that someone was kidnapped. I mean, that is the statement. There is no evidence that this child was kidnapped. So saw it what? What? I mean, make it make sense.
They did actually look for her. They protested CPS. Okay.
Yeah, that helped.
Yeah. All right.
They protested Don's job. They protested
I've
at
been there
the
when
end of
Dawn was
Don's
there.
driveway,
Yeah,
and they
they
protested
went up there
CPS.
carrying on like idiots.
Mhm.
Betty screaming, "They put her in the barn!
Yeah.
They put that little girl in the barn!" But the barn had already been searched.
That's right, Carrie. They sold it for $1,000.
But it was already checked.
So
they had camera proof that they was at Walgreens. Absolutely. That doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything.
Huh?
And remember, they was originally going fishing.
They was originally. That's his English is
Dawn
great.
said she kept the bathing suits in the Suburban.
Okay, now you're saying that, but in the beginning you said Dawn said she always drove the Suburban, but that's not what he said. In fact, he exactly said what you just said.
Candace had a brand new Subaru. Why would she always drive the Suburban?
Yeah.
They didn't say what vehicle the footage was taken in. I think the milk jug photo was taken in the truck, but I'm not convinced either that it was that day, because the TBI has not ever put that out.
Just a second. We can do it again if you want.
They have stated that that was the last photo taken of Summer. Just saying.
Actually, one more thing, I guess I do have.
Okay. Did Summer go with Candace in the morning to the ER?
I don't, I was at work and I called and they said that they was waiting on some prescriptions or something. And all I know is Allie begged her to come pick up Hunter and take him to the leg while they were waiting on the prescription. That's all I know. And I seen the footage with it at the leg. I seen the picture. The very last picture she got was with her asleep by the milk jugs. That was the last picture.
Do you know?
So the last picture, Dawn says, was at the milk jugs. Okay. Last picture / very quick video.
I did see some True Crime Time. They were driving Candy's truck. Dawn drove the Suburban that day. I do remember hearing that Dawn did drive it, which was weird that he took a, because that was a very new vehicle that he would, take his equipment unless he left all his equipment at the job site. And the police aren't telling us much. No, they don't. They don't.
Know for a fact that was that day, Dawn?
Yes, because I decided to stay at work longer because they wasn't going to be home. So I thought, well, I'll just get a couple of hours in. And that's when they got home. I was sitting talking to one of my buddies on the job site for a long time. We probably sit and talk for an hour and 15 minutes. And then I got that phone call and I started throwing my tools in the Subaru and all that's for the house.
Why did you take the Subaru from Candace and that day? Did you?
Well, I didn't take it from her. She had my Suburban and other vehicles. We had all kinds of vehicles.
There we go. I didn't take it from her. She had the Suburban. Yeah, that's a good question, my ranch. Why would she leave 3 boys at home and just take Summer and be gone all day and take a random boy and Summer swimming when she could have taken all the kids?
Oh my God, he had a good point. Jeez.
Yeah,
why just
because I've asked him many times. I did take it, though, if she was taking the canoe, you wouldn't take the Subaru with the canoe, But they don't really think that these vehicles weren't gone over with a fine-tooth comb.
They were. I mean, that's one thing that TBI made sure that they put out there, that those vehicles were all checked and the dogs went through the vehicles.
It up though is what I'm saying, because I said something that I want to retract right now if it's not true. It was when I said that it was a power play because I thought Don was mad at Candace and he took it from her.
Well, no, nothing like that. It's just that I wanted to put some miles on the Subaru. I was paying all kinds of money for it, and I thought, well, I'll use it for a while, put some miles on it, let my truck sit and rest for a while. And she had that nice Suburban.
There he goes. He says it again. She had that nice Suburban. He says it twice.
Okay, but Justin, and I did misspeak. I said it was Grandma's Suburban, and it wasn't. It was Dawn and Candace's. So I do want to correct that. But Justin, the police, I'm sure, went through that Suburban just like they did the vehicle Dawn was driving, and probably Rames's too. I'm sure they checked every vehicle on that property, whether it was running or not. He acts like it's a big Mike moment.
Twice she had that Suburban. She had that nice Suburban.
Okay.
To what?
I was fixing up, had all kinds of money tied up in that thing.
How
but, I mean,
how in fact what time did you leave on June 15th for work? Because I haven't.
I'm a little mixed up on that, to be honest with you.
Just
I mean,
Okay,
day,
here's some pictures
Dawn.
of the property. I don't know why he finds it necessary to show the dogs, but he does. And this is where Gramus was living in the camper, and that's their home. And I'm guessing that's a TBI investigator, or it's where the searchers get in there. But I don't understand how it's such a big mic drop moment that she was driving a Suburban or that there was swimsuits left in the Suburban. What does it matter? The police know. They know those things. They're the ones checking into it. Anything? Let's see what chat's saying.
Let's see what those simpers are saying.
There was no evidence she was napped. Period. No, there isn't.
No.
There, and you guys made that clear. There's no proof of anything. You know, that's the sad thing is that there's been just no information. And instead, they were bogged down with YouTube videos, people, YouTube theories, and they have to spend manpower hours checking out every single one of those tips. And there was so many that were just bullcrap because they seen Betty or Molly or JLR or Justin putting out misinformation.
Yeah.
And as far as the so-called witness, I have a lot to say about that one too because she was turned out not to be credible, and they didn't take her serious either. Let's see what he has to say here.
Dawn and Candace said all the dogs were gone. All of the dogs were gone. Let me tell you something. I've been on Ben Hill Road, and I've been at the foot of their driveway, way down a hill. And those dogs come running down that hill. Mind you, if I went up there, I can't even imagine what those dogs would have done.
But Justin, those dogs were pretty much on their. Those dogs were pretty much on their own, taking care of themselves. I don't think they got much care from these people. I mean, didn't you all buy big bags of dog food and set them down at the end of the road? You ever think maybe that's why they came down there? But it's possible that, Justin, that the dogs were out looking for food. It's possible they weren't there. Right?
Foot of the road. And those dogs know when someone is down there and parked. They come down there and they're... But just that day, miraculously, according to Dawn and Candace, they all left. I guess including the one that had puppies, little puppies, that was under the house, close to the entryway of where Summer supposedly went out that door, or she was allegedly taken out that door. The dogs were hungry too. Absolutely, the dogs were hungry.
There you go. They were out looking for food.
Dawn, exactly. Dawn says they weren't. By the time the cops got there, they were. Yeah, right. Exactly. And that is exactly right, Justice Jane. Dawn and Candace are not cooperating with law enforcement. They were offered assistance with the Cold Case Foundation and have not accepted the gift to help for Summer. I mean, Don tried to play stupid the other night. Tried to play stupid and say, oh, what's the Cold Case Foundation? You literally just had a conversation with Chris and Josh on the lab with them the other night about the Cold Case Foundation. And the next day you're like, what's the Cold Case Foundation? Exactly, Jesse. So
Okay.
lucky, so many slim chances occurred that day. Wow, lightning strikes twice on Ben Hill Road. Yes.
Huh?
Hmm?
Yes. And Brandy. Good point. Lady Banjo.
Lightning
Good
How
point.
did lightning?
twice? What?
How did they? Yeah. What?
Hmm? Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he goes into detail about that. He's talking about. I guess there was another family member, maybe it was that Rose that went missing and was, but that didn't have nothing to do with Ben Hill Road, did it? I don't think so. Not from what I researched. But yeah, um, I do believe that the dogs could have been out looking or just out running because they were kind of like feral dogs. You know, they really weren't cared for. They pretty much took care of themselves. They could have been out gallivanting around. Who knows, Justin?
Well, that was a bone of contention with me. I mean, I hate like hell to agree with a tragedy pimp like Justin, who's just grifting off this child's name. But the dogs were a problem with me, which is why I did ask a deputy that was there the day that Summer went missing. The dogs were there when law enforcement arrived, and law enforcement arrived before Dawn. Dawn was the one who insisted the dogs weren't there, not Candace. But Dawn was at work all day. So how does Dawn know
Exactly.
where the dogs were?
Exactly. I do believe he was at work all day.
Yeah.
I don't think he was there. Um, I think his information came from Candace, or maybe I don't some from the police. But T. Marie, you're right. There's no info, but Spanky keeps grifting. He's got for the last 5 or 6 weeks. I mean, everything is about Summer, and this is the kind of stuff he's just regurgitating everything over and over. And then his big mic drop moments where she was driving a Suburban, but for that she left swimsuits in the truck. So, what does that prove? There's swimsuits in the truck, so automatically that means. And TBI has not cleared them from what my understanding. This is just my understanding. But according to everybody else, they have.
But Don himself, like I said in the beginning, and he just said it when Justin played it. When Don at no thanks asked Don Wells what time he went to work. Again, Don says, "Well, I'm confused about that." So
Yeah.
there were 3 different stories when someone went missing about what time Don actually left for work.
And you're not confused about when you go to work. You're just not. I know that he has a drinking problem and is often on lives drunk being nasty.
Yeah.
I do believe there was other substances involved as well.
Yeah, he was
So they are not the most reliable people for information, and I'm sure TBI knew that from the get go. They've been familiar with Dawn and Candace.
Most times when he went on Don No Thanks channel, he was drunk. Most times, yes.
In my opinion, they need to stay the hell off YouTube, but that's just my opinion.
They were told to stay off YouTube. So,
And as far as their reactions, we can all say we wouldn't do this, we wouldn't do that, we would go to the ends of the earth. But let me tell you something, till you're in that position in them shoes, you don't know what you're going to do. You don't. You just, some people would just totally shut down and lose it, and that's it. Others would be very vocal, be doing anything and everything they could.
Yeah.
I just know that they changed their stories and put out so much misinformation themselves
Hmm.
that it's hurt the case.
Yes. But this continual grifting and this continual speculating and digging into the dead past. I mean, the grandfather or whatever, whoever he was that died before Summer was even born is irrelevant, but yet Justin
Yeah,
needs to dig.
I agree. He wasn't even around, so it's.
Go
Let's
back to the
finish this.
pretty sure Justin, and I know MGL and Betty harped on the Rose connection and accused Dawn and Candace of doing something to Rose and then doing something to Summer.
Yeah, I don't under the Rose connection does not. That was before Summer,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah. But Dawn and Candace
So
weren't even living in Wisconsin. Rose disappeared from Wisconsin. Dawn and Candace, I believe, were living in Arkansas.
but he sits here and says lightning strikes twice on Ben Hill Road, but it had nothing to do with Ben Hill Road.
They have always tied Rose
And to be
into
honest
that.
with
Because, yeah, Rose. Yeah.
I don't even. Okay.
you, Dawn seemed very disingenuous with Brandy. Brandy was emotional, pleaded, and gave her testimony that the Cold Case Foundation is extremely credible, that they have helped her tremendously, and they don't charge a thing. Don also says he's the victim, and absolutely is not. Absolutely, he said that. You're not a victim, Don. Guys, do me a favor, hit
Well,
that thumbs up.
that's a matter of interpretation, in my opinion, because he's a victim of his daughter being missing. So I guess that would be for how you interpret it, right? I mean,
Button, mods, let's so you can get some thumbs up if you don't mind. Really helps out the channel. Really need those. It's a free way to help as well. I waited for who's Chris. Yeah, right. Right. Rickson.
I want to
Yeah,
read
she
what you're saying,
explained everything. You know, it's not been easy for Brandy either. But she said, you know, as long.
Why are you bringing true crime dying? But as far as the truck seeing it and says it's just a witness, they did that with Colbert Retreat. You remember the white log? Yeah, they claimed it's just someone in the area, and we think they may have seen something. Turns out it was actually Colbert's car. The alleged murder. Yeah, you're right there, true crime. So they aren't always honest. They are trying to make the person comfortable to come in and speak with them. Yeah, I agree with that. They did say it was just yeah. Yeah, substance abuse can mess with your memory, seriously. Dawn knows how to play the system. Oh, for no doubt. I'm in the belief, now this is K-Mass, I'm in the belief she wandered off as the first worst case scenario. Anything's possible though. If I'm a focus on John Wells's words, but I'll focus on he said there were grown searches being carried out. If grown adults needed assistance to be carried, etc., then how is a little girl supposed to be more magically able-bodied than adults? Yeah, I feel you. I just don't understand. In my opinion, if their child was kidnapped or hurt by someone else, parents are a victim. Exactly. So that's what I I agree with that, Commander. Um, that area, and where they live, I just don't see it. I don't. But I'm not law enforcement.
So
My opinion is that.
I'm hearing two statements on this truck. First of all, it was said that that person saw it, and then it was said that the deputies, it's a company truck, and the deputies know the guy, but they're still looking to see if they took Summer. Well, don't you think that TBI and law enforcement would be all over that guy and having the dogs and search and check his vehicle and everything else if they know the guy? That none of that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's two conflicting statements. But True Crime Time did. She actually has the date and
But
everything.
you're talking about Ronnie
Um,
Lawson, right?
yeah. Whoever was driving the truck that they're talking about.
No, Ronnie Lawson is the sheriff who
Yeah,
may have family ties and some kind of weird connections with Don Wells, whose son turned out to be a criminal himself. So Ronnie Lawson is probably not the most credible of law enforcement, but TBI is. And if somebody said that they knew this truck was owned by a certain individual, it was a company truck, and they know who it is, TBI would be all over that shit. They would be there and they would be searching, and they would have that truck torn apart, and they would have dogs on it to see if there was any signs of Summer Wells. And they would have to just, take everything out of that truck to destroy any evidence that Summer was in it. So if they know the owner, it doesn't make any sense.
yeah, two conflicting things. Because what I found from TBI,
They're
not
still looking.
from
They're still looking.
the local police, but from TBI, they were still looking,
Yes.
only to see if maybe the person had maybe witnessed anything at all.
Right. Right.
Um, yeah. Because if the locals were familiar with who it was, then why would the TBI still be looking? It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't at all. At all. And the
That's
statement
what that
still
means.
bothers me that that person witnessed it. Chun chun. Because it's an exact phrase that there is no evidence that child was kidnapped. None.
Yeah, and that was from TBI.
Yeah. Well, TBI and Hawkins
Long as
County
it's
both signed off on that.
Hmm.
been and as hard as it's been, results.
What?
So I want you to look at Grandis's trailer here, right? Here's Grandis's trailer. Now I want to make two points here. Okay.
Okay,
Point number
I want to make a point. Where is this flower bed that you keep talking about? This big old flower bed, this garden. It wasn't, Justin. It was a couple planters, which you're going to show, which makes you look stupid because you keep stating that it's this big flower bed and it's not. It was a couple cactuses in a freaking planter.
number one. Here is the door, right?
Okay.
And we're going to see out where this man is. Here, right over here, a little bit over here. I really can't, but is where the door is to the entry to their house. So, can you imagine for Candace saying, "Mom, I'm going to walk Summer over to this door"? Now, why would you do that? You don't need to. It's
I
damn
know you.
20 feet away.
That man,
It doesn't
that
make
man is
sense.
tripping dumb.
Yeah. Is that who that is? Wow. But yeah, Justin, if she would have said she didn't make sure she got in the house, you would have been slamming her for that. So, maybe she walked her over to take her in the house for a reason. You ever think of that? I don't know. Because whether she would have did or didn't, which way Justin would have had something to say about it. Start
It
talking,
doesn't
Spanky.
make sense. You can see her 20 effing feet away.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I bet you if both doors are open, Grandis can see inside that living room.
Mm.
To make herself sound responsible. Exactly. She wanted to sound like a great mother. Exactly.
No, let me tell you something. My kids go in the house. One will have to get out of the pool and go in the house. And though I can see, I still check on them. Just saying, Justin. You know, just saying. You're a parent, wouldn't you?
That doesn't
That
make you
proves
sound like a great
absolutely
mother.
nothing.
It's not needed. Just say, I watched her walk in the door from the camper. You know, holding her hand, skipping 20 feet that's not what we need. How about a fucking meal? That's what she needed. Sorry.
Oh, here we go.
Pardon me, God. I'm sorry. I just get so mad. That's what she needed. I'm sorry for using the F word, guys.
According to Justin, Summer had not had a meal, had not been fed anything in 19 hours. How he knows that, I don't know. But according to him, she had not had anything to eat for 19 hours. Do you remember hearing that from the TBI or anything? I mean, he made a whole video 2.5 hours long about a hot dog. Did I lose you, T?
Sorry. Okay, now think about this. Here is the door, right? Grandis and Candace is, well, I don't know if this is someone's bent over here in this picture, but Grandis is sitting here at the door. Candace is fixing her knee brace, right? Now look right here. You see this line of the way where this
T, did you hear me when I said about how he's saying she hasn't eaten for 19 hours?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, it's because it was skipped from the timeline. The timeline goes from all the things that they did that day and where they stopped, but there was never any stop for lunch. Now, whether it was omitted or whether it didn't happen at all, that's speculation.
Okay, but I had seen something about picnic. So maybe
No,
she took food with him? No?
no.
Like I
mean,
said, he did a whole 2.5 hour live over a freaking hot dog.
I sent you the timeline, a picture of the
Yeah.
timeline. That was an official timeline. And for some reason, there is no stop for food. There was stop for candy and stuff at the junk shop, the pot shop.
Mm-hmm.
Mentioned there was candy. That Summer had lunch. It was just omitted because omitted, or what is speculation, right?
Okay. Yeah.
driveway is. Back here is the backyard or the back entry.
Oh, that's smart.
A road where,
There's the garden.
you know,
Okay, everybody, he's been harping about this garden. There's the freaking garden he's talking about. A planter with some little cactuses in it.
this is just a you know that.
Okay, why
You
is
don't
this
need
video
to.
messing up?
It's damn 20 feet away.
Why'd it go back?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You can see her 20 effing feet away. In fact, I bet you if both doors are open, Grandis can see inside that living room.
I don't know why double played.
To make herself sound responsible. Exactly. She wanted to sound like a great mother. Exactly.
Well, we all knew she wasn't a great mother.
That doesn't make you
Okay?
sound like a great mother. It's not needed. Just say, I watched her walk in the door from the camper. Holding her hand, skipping 20 feet that's not what we need. How about a fucking meal? That's what she needed. Sorry. Pardon me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just so mad. That's what she needed. I'm sorry for using the F word, guys. Sorry. Okay, now think about this. Here is the door, right? Grandis and Candace is, well, I don't know if this is, someone's bent over here in this picture, but, Grandis is sitting here at the door. Candace is fixing her knee brace, right? Now, look right here. You see this line of the way where this driveway is? Back here is the backyard, or the back entry. You can clearly have sight on that back door. You can clearly see the back door. And Candace, you know that nobody went in that house and took her. You know that. Here is that little cactus garden that supposedly we're working on. Now, I'm going to tell you, if 45 minutes to do, 45 to 50 minutes, like they originally said, video out. But we did learn a few things, and one of them.
Okay, so that was the big garden that Justin has been pointing out. I didn't see it as a big garden, but yeah. As far as yeah, I sped him up a little bit, Commander. You want me to speed him up some more? T, you still here?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Now this is um, Justin saying the new things that we've learned, which I didn't know we learned anything new. But okay.
No, there was nothing new.
That allegedly, the day before Summer went missing, we'd kind of always wanted to know, what happened the day before, what happened the day before that. And Dawn says that they were up on the roof. As angels, I get Nana for life and Nana's angels. Yes, Vicky. Sorry about that. So Summer was up on the roof. Now, take that for what you will. Dawn said that they were up on the roof. And Dawn says that they were up on the roof.
I don't know why it keeps replaying.
Yes, the roof of the house, playing, and Summer was up there.
Why would you have a little kid up on the roof? Is that what he stated? That they were up there playing on the roof? I mean, I don't know why that's doing that, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit to it.
Supposedly, they knew that CPS was coming that day. Some of Don's answers that he gave.
Okay, number one, if CPS is coming, they don't let you know they're coming. They just show up.
Leading up to the question that I asked Nana for life to ask Dawn, and that was, Dawn, did you ever own a red van? And Dawn says, believe it or not, no. Now, my last stream.
What significance is him owning a red van though? I didn't see anything from TDI about a red van. Did you, TKI?
No, there's never been anything about a red van.
I don't understand the significance and what's so new about that. So important. What does it matter?
There's like 6 or 7 broken down vehicles on the property.
Yeah.
There might be a van, but I don't know if it's red or not. But why would it even be relevant? All those vehicles were searched by TBI.
Yeah, and a lot of those vehicles were not drivable.
No.
We talked about Jody Sue saying that she heard a vehicle, like a heavy vehicle, sound like it was going up the hill, but it didn't sound like it made a full circle. And by the way, I think Jody Sue is extremely observant, or like her surroundings around her. I think she is incredibly observant. I think she's got this a memory of detail. I don't have that. My mind is blank.
Okay, wait a minute, Justin. Thank God you're not law enforcement there, because they didn't find her credible.
No.
You know about Jody Sue, don't you? You know more about it than I do. I just watched his live that he did on her. He
Well,
dedicated a whole live.
if you can sit through it, Don No Thanks and several other people had her on repeatedly. I mean, repeatedly. It was the Jody Sue Hour. And if you listen to her very first description of what her and her kids from inside her cabin heard, and then go 3 or 4 days later, and 3 or 4 days later, the story changes completely. Like I said, first it was a muffled sort of scream, and then it goes to it was an animalistic loud scream. Now there's a hell of a difference, okay?
Big difference.
Right?
Yeah, big difference.
And plus, like I said, like I tried to show with the photos, I had other photos besides the driveway, how thick it was. Now remember that Jody Sue's house is down the hill from the wells, across Ben Hill Road, up another small hill in the woods.
Wow.
She was inside that cabin with 3 kids, but she heard all this.
Okay.
But
I just know she's not been credible.
Candace and Gramus were there and didn't hear a vehicle. Okay.
Yeah. I just know that from all I've looked up, she was not credible and has given a lot of different statements.
Yes.
And kept adding to it the more
Yes.
she would go talk to people on YouTube.
Embellishing, adding, changing.
Yep.
On TBI's website, it also does state a neighbor's statement of hearing a scream was not deemed credible.
Yeah, that's what I seen. That's why I didn't, and he thinks that she's the all go-to so-called witness, but yeah.
Because he's a great researcher.
Yeah. This must have been at one of the neighbors that were friendly with them when they were there.
Yeah.
95% of the time, seriously. And some people just have that type of but I was talking to her, and when she was talking about this vehicle, she saw a flash go up the hill, and it looked like a red collar, kind of like a dusty, or like the clear coat had been off of it. That's when me and my research crew here started digging, and there is and has been a ton of vehicles on the Wells property. I'm going to show you some of that here in a little bit, just of all of the trucks, the cars, running, not running, scraps, motorcycles, mopeds, go-kart, bikes, boats, canoes, all up on the Wells property. And that's when, after I was on the panel with Jody Sue, we got to looking and thinking, did Don have anything red? Did Candace have any red car other than that Subaru? Because one of the constant themes has always been a red vehicle. It doesn't really matter. Now, some people believe in the red truck theory. Some people don't. Some people believe it's just, some random person, or, it has nothing to do with it. But whether it was Jody Sue or whether it was the TBI talking about a red truck, the one thing that is common is red. And that's really it. We don't know anything other than that.
Okay. Well, that's it for that video.
Kathy, Jody Sue never brought up, never in the first interviews that were done with Jody Sue, and she was doing the muffled scream, there was no mention of a vehicle. She didn't bring that in until later.
It won't remove it. Son of a bitch. Hold on a minute.
Get the relief you pay for it later.
All right. Yeah, Jody Sue, I understand, was a lot of misinformation. That's just my opinion on it. From everything I did see, he was working at the Meadows in Jonesboro. He's not a drywaller; he's a taper, which is someone who finishes drywall to paint. Drywallers hang the drywall. Correct. Um, my husband used to do construction, but yeah. Um,
Don Wells
regardless,
himself calls himself a drywaller. You know that, right?
yeah, he does. He did call himself a drywaller.
All the time. He's got mud. I just can't with
I'm looking
him.
back on that. I wanted to see something True Crime Down said. Um, you want to go on some more with the timeline? Since you,
I don't remember.
all I know is
I don't remember where we left off with the timeline.
so the maroon truck could be who did it. I don't know. He disappeared, so they haven't found him.
Who?
Mm, I guess the maroon truck,
Who disappeared? They can't find him.
the maroon truck.
So the FBI, the FBI can't locate a vehicle as far as relevance, right? You would think that TBI would think that this was big, huge, if they had credible information that somebody witnessed something happen to Summer. But that was never the statement about that truck. That truck was seen on Ben Hill Road. That's it. It was never a statement that it was seen on Summer's property. It was never a statement that someone in that vehicle actually witnessed something. It was seen on Ben Hill Road. That is TBI's statement. People can go read TBI's statement for themselves. You have it, right?
Yeah,
And what does it
it's on their
say?
Twitter page.
It doesn't say they're looking
It,
for a man. It doesn't say they're looking for a company. It says they're looking for a maroon truck and given a variable of years
with the ladder rack.
with a ladder rack, but a variable of
Yeah.
years. If they know who this person is and they know it belongs to a company, then they would know what year that truck was, because all they have to do is do the search of the DV records, right? Department of Motor Vehicle.
Okay. And we're back again to the 9 kids thing.
Like TBI can't look up the motor vehicle's registration for a guy that deputies say that they know that has this truck.
Okay, I'm going to say this again, which I've said it several times during this live. From everything that I have found, there was a total of 8 children. I have not found anything stating that Candace had a baby.
What does it matter?
This was stated taken at birth. Some are saying gave up at birth. I don't know. I haven't found that. I'm just stating what I know, and that's it. You know, if there was a 9th child, then I'll correct that. I have not seen any proof of there being of this happening. So that's all I'm saying. I guess because it's misinformation. I'm stating what I know, what I found during my research. I have found nothing about there being a total of 9 kids. I could have missed it. If I did, I'll correct it. I'll go back and look again.
It's misinformation that it's
But
even credible to Summer's disappearance.
it happened way before Summer was even.
Right?
So, I don't know. But like I said, if it is a misstatement, I will correct that. But so far, everything I have found that Candace had 2 kids prior. Dawn had 2 kids prior, and they had 4 together. That's the info I have found. If it's out there, I'll keep digging. I'm sure I'll find it. Am I going to go by what Spanky says? No. He's not factual, in my opinion. I want facts. I want proof that there was another child.
It's misinformation to say that it's credible to Summer's case or Summer's disappearance, because it's not.
And you're right. It doesn't have anything to do with this case in the first place because it was long before Summer. Does it put her parenting into question? Hell yeah. I've always had an issue with that. I don't even understand. But this stuff with Justin saying that she was playing on the roof. Why on earth would you put a child up on a roof to play? Number one, and believe me, I have no doubts that they would do something like that. But the biggest thing is CBS don't tell you they're coming.
No.
They just show up. You don't know they're coming.
Do you remember the little boy in Florida that went missing that Betty was supposed to be searching for?
Yeah,
they did the same thing.
About.
They did the same thing. They trashed that mother and swore she did something to that little boy. And they dug into her past to prove that she was a bad mother. And the little boy wandered off.
Yeah.
And was found.
I was watching that. The look on her face when she found out that child was found safe and sound said it all. Said it all, in my opinion.
Yeah, but my point is,
already made this, right. She'd already made the statement while she was so-called searching, while she was screaming and talking on her phone, that her gut and her feeling is that it wasn't going to end well. Well, an hour later, when the child was found, the look on her face said it all for me. She couldn't have been more disappointed.
But they did what Justin is doing right now. They dug way, way into this woman's past, or tried to make it relevant to the disappearance of that little boy. And I'm saying that it's misinformation for Justin to dig into how many children Candace had when she was 19, 20, 23, and make it information about Summer, because it's not. Putting that in there is misinformation, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we're taking heat. Of course I'm going to be scrutinized for it. All I'm trying to do is put out facts with Summer Wells.
It doesn't matter what you do. There's always going to be those little simps or somebody who wants to twist what you're saying, but they can't make it about Summer. That should be the point. The point should be they can't make it about Summer. Right.
I want to show you guys something. I'm not exaggerating about this with him. And can you guys see the screen? Because I have to go back on my iPad here. It's not sharing the screen.
I can't see anything.
Can you guys see it? You can't see it?
Now.
Okay. Look at this. Look at his channel. Just look at this. It is live after what happened on the warm June evening. Don't lose hope. Here's why. Summer Wells. Trending news. Little girl taken. Summer Wells. Fred H. and the tree trimmers.
The tree trimmers.
It gets worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Another theory of theirs that they had TBI running in circles checking all these tree trimmers.
Here's another one. Little girl taken number 7. The phones and a picnic. And then here's another video. The history of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes case study. Well, that's supposed to be about this other one, but he ends up doing it about her. And then we go to, why did you tell him this, Dawn? It just goes on and on. And this is just in the last month or so.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It's his only content.
Dawn, June 15th.
It's amazing that law enforcement have no new details, but yet Justin can pump out a video every day.
Then he has 2 go missing in this family. Coincidence?
Yeah.
They had nothing to do with each other. Deep dive, the secret life we knew nothing about. Dawn and Candace start new. What about Summer? Dawn says he never owned a red van. We have proof. And it just, 3 stories, one truth. It just goes on and on. Look at this. It's just in. There's the one I was telling you about. Can hot dogs, or is something fishy? Little girl taking number 3. Summers didn't eat for 19 hours.
Summer's in the heat for 19 hours?
No, she didn't eat.
No. You don't know that because the timeline doesn't start until they leave the house. She could have had breakfast. Nobody asked. Nobody asked.
I'm going to read some of this timeline.
You want
And
you
the
want
videos.
you want to hear something really weird? Y'all, everybody, you want to check it out? There's a little girl from California named Summer Wells, age 15, that's been missing for years, never found. Same exact name.
What?
Yeah. Check it out.
Wow.
I mean, it's just a weird coincidence. I mean, obviously her name isn't Utah Moon, but Summer Wells, a little girl missing by the name of Summer Wells. Yeah. Sad but true.
Wow.
Yep.
New
Missing and
road,
not
same
found.
chapter. Wow. There's so many missing kids. It's so sad.
Yep, but it's
I
weird when
deep
you.
dive into their secret life. I don't think they've had any secrets, honestly. I mean, everything has pretty much been put out there.
I'm surprised Justin doesn't put out the size of their underwear.
No, he probably hasn't this one. I didn't. This is one of the ones I haven't even looked at. Like I said, there was so many. Maybe we will watch a little bit of this.
My phone's at 25%, by the way.
Okay.
And you know I'm not home.
Oh, so you don't even have a charger?
No.
Okay. I want to bring that up, though.
I haven't eaten for 19 hours, by the way.
Oh, I'm holding you hostage. I'm holding you hostage.
Yeah, I'm hostage. Tell
Do you think
Justin.
Molly's gonna?
Tell
Do you
Justin.
think Molly's? I'm gonna tell Justin so he can do 5 different lives about it. And
He's a hell of a researcher. He should be able to find me.
Candace claims she was at Grandma's trailer 2 minutes. Summer was barefoot, her shoes were there, so they also said she was 4, not 5, and 3 foot tall. She wasn't. She was tall. Yeah, she did seem like she was tall. I got my little ones. He's little.
Yeah. Just look at her next to that barrel, and then stand next to a barrel, and compare it to yourself. Right?
I think that there's been just so much misinformation in this case, and I think it's really interfered and hurt the case.
It has.
And the saddest thing is there's a little girl missing, and what they've done. And getting the parents fired, what purpose did that serve? They had other children they had to take care of. Because the 3 boys weren't removed immediately the day Summer went missing. I mean, it happened pretty fast, but not the day she went missing, from what I understand.
They're not going to stop until after the date of her disappearance, and then they might slow down. But until then, they're going to double down and make as much money as they possibly can.
Well, he's damn sure getting the views.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't trying to piss anybody off or spread any misinformation. So again, if I was wrong about the 9 kids, I will correct that. But as far as what I have been able to find, the only one saying that is the grifters, the tragedy pimps, and I am not going to take them at their word. What I've been able to find from, law enforcement or professionals, it was 8. True Crime Dime, do you know anything about that?
He still made it relevant to Summer's case, and it's not.
Yeah, it's not. Not in my opinion. I mean, if she was 19, that was how many years ago? And just like, where did that go? I know you sent that to me. Well, maybe I have it in my screenshots.
People are allowed to give up a child, and that's for the best of the child. It's nobody's
Oh,
business. It's
absolutely.
nobody's
I
business.
totally agree.
It's supposed to be no
Okay, this is
questions
an
asked with
article.
babies.
I'll read this article real quick. This is, um, it says, today marks, this was for her anniversary. Today marks 700 days since the Amber Alert was issued for Hawkins County, then 5-year-old Summer Wells. Summer was reported missing on June 15, 2021, and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued Endangered Child Alert, which became an Amber Alert a day later. TBI took to Twitter on February 4th, Summer's 7th birthday, to let the public know that they are still investigating. Don Wells, Summer's dad, told TBI he, he believed she had been abducted, but TBI still has no evidence to confirm that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no
And then
witness.
it says,
No witness.
right, and it says that TBI looking for a red Toyota Tacoma with a full bed ladder rack and white buckets in the bed that was reported in the area, which could have information about Summer's disappearance, but no leads have panned out.
Right. Which I've been saying
It
all
was
day.
right. It was learned Don Wells had been arrested on DVD charges in 2020. In October of 2021, he was arrested for DUI and pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to 11 months and 29 days. He has now since been released. That's what that said. And I got that right off their Twitter page.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's a short video, or I'll play this. It's real short.
Yeah.
Why won't it play? It's not playing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hate my phone. Let me just go to their Twitter because I have it on their Twitter. I have their Twitter right up. Because I looked at everything that TBI had about Summer that I could find because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get on here and give misinformation.
It's the only thing I've kept up with. I don't keep up with what the tragedy pimps say. I keep up with what TBI and law enforcement say.
Do
Or
you
what I
think
go and see
Molly's
for
gonna?
myself.
Do you think that Molly's gonna?
And I did go and see for myself if Jody Sue could see what she said she saw and what she could hear, and it's false. You can't.
Yeah. Um. They have another interview on here I wanted to play. The
You know how many
disappearance
Candaces?
remains unclear. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance still remain unclear, it says. And this was dated 2 years ago. It says investigators say the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of missing Hawkins County 5-year-old Summer Wells remain unclear and that outside of the norm for a missing child case. Officials gave an update Thursday on the search for Wells, who was reported missing. I'm going to shoot my neighbor. Sorry, guys. I'm going to shoot him with a dart, a Nerf dart gun. That's all I have. I'm only joking. Just a statement. I don't mean that. He just knows that I'm live back here, so he brings his lawnmower back here yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Anyway, it says that officials gave an update Thursday on the search for Wells, who was reported missing from her home in the Beach Creek community on June 15th. While every case is different, this one is definitely outside the norm, said the TBI spokesperson. Typically, in an investigation like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days. In this situation, despite doing everything within our power and exploring all avenues, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear. I understand the lack of answers frustrates you in the public, but trust me, no one is more frustrated than we are. While Earhart said that investigators can't discuss everything they are doing in order to preserve the investigation, she did highlight some things they have done in the search for answers. And I'll play it. Uh, well, a commercial said that. Anyway, it says numerous residents and individuals associated with the family have been interviewed. Surveillance video and photos have been reviewed, as well as other potential digital evidence. We're still working to identify everyone in the area on the afternoon that Summer went missing. Earhart was asked if she thought Wells was still alive. We hope so, but honestly, we just don't know, she said. We're holding out hope, doing everything we can. Obviously, we typically would have found a child at this stage in the investigation. So honestly, we just don't know. Sheriff Lawson said the family remained very cooperative. But wait a minute, didn't Justin say that they were very uncooperative with law enforcement?
Yes.
But here, Sheriff Lawson states that the family has remained very cooperative. So there's some misinformation from Justin
Yes.
because he states over and over again.
I don't have time to get into the Jose stuff.
Oh yeah, I would love to cover that though too, because you notice they hid that and they shut up about that. But you know what? Any single girls out there, my neighbor, and granted, I'm almost 60 and I'm old and I've been married with my husband for over 41 years. But he's 28, 29, no, maybe 30 now. He's young, single, got his own business. And I got to tell you, when he's out cutting that grass without his shirt on, even I look. Just look. He's a very good looking young man. And his best friend, whoa. If I was 20 and 25 and single, but I need to find him a mate because I think that's what he needs. You know what they need? He needs a woman. Off topic, sorry. But here, Sheriff Lawson keeps stating the fact that they've remained very, very cooperative. So I want to know why Justin thinks that they've been uncooperative because they didn't take up that agency's offer. We don't know what they did with that agency. Summer Wells' father told News Channel 11 that his wife passed a lie detector test. It's no secret that the TBI has a polygraph unit. Earhart said, we don't discuss specifics, but I can tell you that we use that as an investigative tool in a situation like this. We're going to use every resource and tool available to us. Lawson continued to encourage residents of Upper Beach Creek in both Hawkins and Sullivan counties to thoroughly check their properties for the missing girl. One of the hardest things I've ever probably done, Knox County Rescue on search for Summer Wells said. Searchers had covered 4.6 square miles so far, and the search effort has involved more than 100 agencies from several states. Authorities have received well over, they've received thousands of tips. Thousands. Captain Tim Coote, who is overseeing the ground search, said the rough terrain and warm weather have exhausted search crews mentally and physically, but the search will continue with an aggressive approach and extreme attention to detail. He added the search efforts will continue on more specialized cases. Just because you may not see us in such a large presence, once again, rest assured, we are still out here searching for Summer Wells. I've had most of my guys come up to me and tell me, Captain, I'll go again, but I'm tired. I am physically and I am mentally tired. We're all one team, and we will not quit until we find Summer. That's sad. That's sad. Coop said some locations have been searched multiple times to ensure that nothing had been overlooked. And I've been on search teams, and you do that. I mean, we were being apart with the Kate and Anthony thing, and she was missed. And there was professional searchers, search and rescue, and
Yeah.
they missed her because where that area was flooded, and that was an area that Casey was known to go to back in high school. But
The only place the dogs hit on that property was a little piece of the trail. The dogs hit on some of summer, around the yard and a little piece of the trail.
right,
But beyond that, in the woods, the dogs didn't hit on a damn thing.
I mean, and I'm watching the search right here, and this is how close you are together. I mean, you're just feet apart, and you walk together so that you don't miss anything. Not like Betty did.
No.
Um, I honestly question if Betty was even really a part of a search team, or if they knew what she was up to and they put her way out away from everybody else.
For that matter,
Because
Justin's little
everybody yelling the child's name,
yeah.
everything.
But for that matter, Justin's little simp said that Justin helped search for Summer. When was Justin ever on a search?
I guess he meant because they were there and they walked around the property. Being a nuisance, that's all I can figure.
They walked on.
He wasn't on none of these
They were on Ben Hill Road, and MGL trespassed and climbed the hill.
Right, but she doesn't trespass. Do you think she's going to go down there with Justin?
I don't know, but they're not going to do anything. I don't know why his simps think they're going to do something.
I don't, and I don't know who he's going down there with. I know that
teams
when
and
his
things, what are they going to?
I have no idea. I know his chat brought up, the fact with Dolly canceling and everything, and he wouldn't even discuss it. He wouldn't discuss it. But yeah, well, I'm way behind the chat. But we've been on here 3 hours, a little over 3 hours. I don't know if we actually gave anybody any information. There was no new information. And again, if I can find some evidence, some real proof about the ninth child, I will correct it. But everything I have found so far, I have not found that tidbit. Are you there, T? Did I lose you? Hello? I lost her. But guys, I thank everybody for coming in. I should do an outro, but I'm not going to because I've been on so long. I was going to take you out with some music, but I just don't think it's fitting. Right now, I'd like everybody to say a prayer for Summer. Maybe light a candle for her. But just keep Summer in your prayers because there's always a chance that she can be found safe. And, there's always that chance. I don't want to give up on that. Unfortunately, my gut's telling me otherwise, but I don't.
Kathy.
Yeah.
That baby that she gave up was a minor child. It was an infant. All records would be sealed on that.
Yeah, so how did they know about
They
it?
don't.
I couldn't find anything about it.
Plus, there is like 5 people in the family that I know of that are named Candace.
Thank you, Google user. Everything about the truck was red. It was seen on the road, nothing else. Exactly. That's what we're trying to say. Justin's making a big deal out of this red van. The red van has zero to do with it. They were corroborative, but they stopped. Then they stopped. Yeah. Yeah, I do know that they, at first, they did cooperate, and then it got really hairy and messy. And I think that they felt like they weren't being protected because of what Molly and Betty and all them were doing, And people, I mean, who gave them permission to go on their property and make videos and stuff? Did they do that?
No.
Did they give them permission? Did they give that Chris permission?
Yes.
They gave him?
Chris McDonough had permission. He interviewed Candace. She walked with him the whole way.
Okay. Yeah, they said that the truck was a possible witness that was It was seen. Yeah, they did say that. I read that. They did say TBI was looking for that specific vehicle because it was it was witnessed to be at the end of Ben Hill Road. Yeah, or at the end of their driveway on Ben Hill Road. Yeah, exactly. The baby, I have no idea. True crime time. I spent a lot of time reading the Twitter pages from the TBI and stuff, and news articles and stuff, and I didn't find anything about that. So I don't know how they got that information unless it was directly from Candace and Dawn. I didn't watch all the lives that Candace and Dawn have done because they've done so many, and I didn't see it. I just know about the actual 8 children. And if she was 19, what would it matter with Summer anyway? But I don't want to be I don't want to get anything wrong. I'm trying to be as honest as I can be. What is that? Why did that come up? Okay. Um, there's just so much misinformation out here, and so much has been going on over the past few years. What is the real truth at this point? I mean, even the TBI was telling people to stop. They watch a YouTube video and call in 1,000 tips. It was insane.
Yeah, the tips were to go dig up the garden because stuff like that.
Yeah. And Justin harped on that. That wasn't a garden. It was a freaking planter with a couple little cactuses in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the beginning, yeah.
But Benny Keys had permission to go on the property. Chris McDonough had permission to go on the property. MGL did not have permission.
Google user 1, I agree with you. I don't believe she was kidnapped either. I just don't. But that's just my opinion. And guys, I really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribe. I'm trying to get my subs up. But yeah, I have my opinions on that. I don't want to go. I can't accuse them of anything because there's no evidence they did anything, but there's no evidence they didn't either, except for Dawn being supposedly at work. But
I would really like everybody to go watch my 2 videos on Summer.
Yeah, T. Kelly's done some videos on Summer. You might want to check out her channel. And True Crime Time, I appreciate you. I really do. You really come in with facts. I like that. And that's all I was trying to do was show that he's exploiting this child. And he is exploiting it. Look at his channel.
He's going to keep right up until her date and then probably make a big video on the date of the day that she went missing.
Yeah. This is the first time I've done anything about her. I'm not a tragedy pimp. I don't pimp up anybody's tragedy.
I'm not monetized. I never will be.
I'm monetized, but barely, and I haven't made a dime yet. So
Kathy is doing the summer content because I asked to do the summer content because of her date and because of the exploitation. So that's on me, not on Kathy.
Yeah, but I agreed to do it because I'm sick of them exploiting this child.
Right, but I'm just saying that
they don't care about her. They care about the views and the money they're making.
The money.
They don't care about this baby.
No.
And again, all I'm going to ask everybody to do is please say a prayer for Summer. Just keep her in your prayers. Maybe, like I said, maybe you can light a candle. Please don't let balloons go. I live close to the beach. I see what the balloons do because what goes up comes down. And I've seen the animals with the balloons. It's not pretty.
None of that junk is helping Summer.
Yeah, and I don't even release them for my son. But they got it. The exploiting of these cases has got to stop. And I mean, come on, these ridiculous videos over a freaking hot dog. You're gonna do a 2.5 hour live over a freaking hot dog? What, deep dive? How can you dive any deeper? You've been exploiting this for 2 years.
Yeah. digging into.
How about some of all these other kids that are missing? Look at what's going on in Ohio. All those kids missing, and a lot of them don't even have a photo.
No,
There's not even a photo of them.
no.
Very little information. And since I believe it was last Thursday, there was 6 or 8 more, but they're not talked about. All the missing kids, they're not talked about because they're not a money bet. They're not a cash cow.
Did you ever hear all these deep researchers bringing up the other summer wells that are missing? You think while they were doing,
No, I never even heard that till you told me.
they were doing deep research, they would have found that, right?
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I didn't see that anywhere on the TBI stuff that I was going through.
I haven't looked at it for a while, but I believe she's either 15 now or she was 15 when she went missing, but she's never been found.
Yeah, that's strange.
I mean,
Both the
it's not
same
something
names.
that I dug into. I just found it when
Right.
I was researching summer, and I was like, whoa. Right?
And I know a lot of times a lot of kids get overlooked, and it's wrong. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you come from, what race you are. All that matters is that you're missing, and you need to be found and brought home. It don't matter if you're 2 or 15.
Yeah.
You're still a child, and you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our nephew was 23 when he went missing, and he had never had a job. He had drug problems, uh, and he didn't even have a phone. Never had a driver's license. He never went anywhere but jail. Never, because his mom was his ATM. You know, so I mean, he just vanished. I mean, totally 100% vanished. No clothes, no ID, no phone, no job, no money, nothing. Never contacted a friend, never did nothing. We couldn't get them to take us serious. And he didn't go to jail for anything big. He went to jail for stupid little stuff. But he was involved with a bad crowd, and he was addicted, unfortunately. Um, and they didn't want to do anything until a year later when his remains were found. And sadly, he was found a couple hundred feet from the house. It, it was sad. But I know I spoke to the police several times in that town because I'm not back home anymore. And it was, he's grown, he's grown, he's grown. No, someone who's addicted, who has no source of income other than the building ATM of his mom, and never had a driver's license, job, a phone, nothing. He never went anywhere other than the county jail. That's it. And they just didn't take it serious. It wasn't, he's an adult, that's all they kept telling us. And had they looked, they might have found it because, like I said, it was just a couple hundred feet from the house in somebody's garage, where it was an old garage that the owners didn't bother with, and he was up in the top part of the garage, and apparently the guy had decided to do some work on the garage and fix it up, and that's how he was found. And yeah, the local police knew that people broke into that garage and would stay in there because the owner had called the police many times, but they never checked it. They never once checked it.
Wow.
And I couldn't because I'm 1,000 miles away.
Right.
But with kids, that needs to be taken very seriously. What do you mean you can't even get a picture of a child? The schools have pictures. Get a picture of that child.
Well,
How are we supposed
unfortunately,
to
if the
know?
parents can't afford to buy school pictures, they don't have pictures of the child.
Well, most, like even elementary schools here do yearbooks and stuff, and the schools do keep a copy.
Yeah.
And the sad part is a lot of these kids, like with the Ohio case, I've been looking into that a little bit. It's like nobody even cares. It's like, I don't know. I get that There's just got to be more done. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be.
Yeah, well,
And there's
what I'm hoping is that there is a Washington law where a Supreme Court judge ruled that YouTubers are not media, and I want to see that become a federal law across the country.
yeah. I don't. We're not media. We're YouTubers.
Justin is one who spews about media like he thinks he's media.
Yeah, him and Betty.
I don't care what his simps say. Justin has not contributed to finding anyone ever.
No.
He contributed to the death of Jose. We didn't get into that. That's a whole
Yeah, but
other thing.
I would like to.
A lot of
I would really.
misinformation there.
I would like to get into the Jose thing.
Well,
I
we
really
can do
would.
it. We can do it another day. Not today, because
Yeah.
I've been here 19 hours without food.
Well, we're going to give you a hot dog.
Oh, God, no. I don't eat hot dogs or bologna or chicken cutlets.
Oh, I can't even stomach to look at that stuff after Molly.
I think I added a few last night in Toasties. Butter, when they were saying that Uni wanted to butter her toast. Now butter, I can't deal with butter.
That freaked me out.
Lobster, I will never eat a lobster.
Oh.
Y'all are killing me with the food.
Dollar General lobster rolls.
Oh, Lord.
I didn't even know they sold lobster rolls.
Oh. It's a great diet.
Yeah.
It's a great diet.
Yeah. Yeah, you watch them and you turn off on some food.
They said something else about food last night in Toasties, too, that grossed me out.
You know, I review Betty, but, you know, nobody can review Betty like Toasty.
It's my favorite.
Nobody.
I have to watch Toasty when she does Betty. Some of the others I can pass on, but not Betty.
Yeah, nobody can. And I love burnt toast voice. You know, now, I'm not stalking her like Uni. I don't talk about her like that.
Are you her sister?
I never realized how much she did say her
Me
name
either.
until last night. It was like, wow.
But I'm finding now that
creepy.
I'm out of there, then now I notice things that I didn't notice when I was part of it.
Yeah, and you know what? I got to be honest. A lot of times I was there for the chat. I would just totally disengage with whatever he was yammering on. What about? I would sit the iPad down and go do things, and I'd go, "Oh, it's over." I missed probably 70% of what he said because I would just, you know, check out.
Yeah.
I like the chat, and I like some of the people in the chat, and always had fun in the chat. That I do miss.
We should do something about Jose.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring lunch.
I started looking into Jose. You know, they deleted a lot of those videos, so it's going to be hard to find them.
They deleted a lot. They deleted a lot of stuff. They deleted a lot of accusations that they made in the beginning of the Summer Wells case.
Yeah.
Flat out misinformation.
I'm going to ask her if she'll. I know she has some of it. I don't know exactly what she has, but I'm going to ask her.
And I know that with this baby, I get to thinking about it. With this baby, those records are going to be sealed.
Yeah.
And they can't dig into that. I think that's speculation.
Like I said, I didn't know any other than what Justin had said. I couldn't find anything about it. So, not from, and I go to the legal sources, you know, like law enforcement and stuff. I couldn't find anything about it. So
now with the other
you know,
two,
if I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
With the other ones, they came out and spoke. Don Wells' son has a lot of information on him because he's in jail, but Candace's daughter actually spoke when Summer went missing.
Yeah.
The one that she gave up.
Okay. Well, your phone's about ready to die, and my kids are probably in here destroying my house.
Those poor kids haven't eaten in 19 hours.
Oh, hell no, my kids eat all the time. They're always hungry. Jeez, it's like I'll feed them lunch, and a half hour later, Mommy Kathy, I'm hungry. What do you mean? You just had a full course meal? I hung. It's never, and I no way could I go night.
Yeah.
My kids would eat me alive.
I don't like it that I
I mean,
can't see the chat and I can't say hello to anybody. I don't know what anybody's saying. I don't like that.
um, Outlaw was trying to say something about if you went to the right, you could see chat. But next time I'll do it on StreamYard, so then you'll be able to.
But they
Um,
tell me that I have to turn off my YouTube.
for StreamYard, oh yeah.
That's why I can't. I only have my phone.
Oh, okay. Um, we'll figure it out.
All right.
We'll figure it
Well,
out.
everybody in the
But
chat,
I'm
I
a
wish I
real
could see
doozy.
you. I wish I could answer your questions. I do want to say that, yes, I am the one who called law enforcement on Dolly Vision. I did.
Yeah.
I did. I called everybody I could call. I lit fires. I bitched. They promised me they were going to reach out because he did not have permission to leave Virginia because he's on bond. Okay? That's the
What
truth.
success has Justin had? Did he solve something? No, Google user. No, absolutely not. And Gina says Justin is live right now talking about summer.
Gina?
Yeah, Gina Diamond says Justin is live right
Hi,
now talking
Gina
about summer.
Diamond. What's up, girl? See, I
Oh, thank you,
can't see
Gina.
anybody.
Yeah, he said something about if you go to the right. I don't know what he meant by that. I missed the comment, but we'll figure that out for next time so you can see chat.
Okay.
Um, but oh, my phone's been going crazy with these stupid automated sales calls. I block them and they just come through on another number. Drives me nuts.
Please, you guys, watch my videos on summer. You don't have to comment. You don't have to like. I'm not monetized. I made some with songs about Summer and Michael, but I really want you to see the ones and listen to what I have to say about the evidence on Summer. Okay? Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. We should have played your video.
Yeah.
That's what we should have did. We should have played your video.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, it was more interesting.
I can't post
Definitely
a
more
link. You
factual than Spanky's.
post a link to my channel because I can't.
Yeah, guys, check out T Kelly. Because she did do some good video, and I've watched it a couple times. We should have shared that. Is really what we should have done.
Don't we have a mod that can share the link?
I don't think. I think we're. I don't see anybody. Let me see. True Crime Dime. I don't know if she's still there. T Marie.
My
Oh, Running Bear. I'm sorry. I didn't even see you come in. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate that.
my channel is T Kelly Music on YouTube.
Oh, my kids are starting to kill each other. Yeah, this 19-hour thing too cracks me up. You can't state that as fact if you don't know it as fact.
Yeah, because we don't know if
That's
she
the
had breakfast. We don't know if she had lunch. They just didn't say.
right, right. But he states it that he did a whole video, a whole live about it, saying she went 19 hours without eating.
Right.
I don't know a child that could go 19 hours without eating. Not mine.
But
They cat or the dog or eat me. They never. They can't go an hour. They're constantly hungry.
but we're gonna get slammed for misinformation. That's bull. I'm telling you right now,
Oh, I will with the baby thing, but I didn't know about it. I can't find any concrete proof about that other than what Spanky says.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm stating that the misinformation and the exploitation is that he used that baby as evidence in the Summer Wells case, and it's not. So that's exploitation and that's misinformation.
And primarily what I wanted to show today is how he exploits this child.
Yes.
And look at his channel. Look at the video. Look at the lives. In fact, he's live right now talking about her.
Oh, shit. Well, I've got to go because I'm being exploited. I'm being starved.
I'll send you one of Molly's chicken cutlets.
Oh, I just barfed a little bit. I starved to death. I starved more than 19 hours before I'll eat a chicken cutlet or bologna.
Now, you know they're going to call the cops on me for mistreating you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming. I appreciate this, Steve Kelly.
Well,
Thank you for.
I love all the guys in the chats. I hope they enjoyed something. I know that we got twisted up by Nunya and some of the others saying we were misinformation. I don't care. I don't care.
But yeah, see that I didn't want to be, one that spread misinformation. That was one of the things. But if I do find any legit source about this, I will come on here and show it and correct that. But as far as what
You
I have
can't.
been able to find,
You can't.
there was 8 children.
Kathy, you can't because it's wrong.
Yeah, if it's sealed, yeah.
No, you can't because it's wrong. Because it's wrong because that is sacred private
Well, what we
information.
were doing was, yeah, but what we were doing was, saying he was spreading misinformation by saying that. And if it's true, then he wasn't spreading misinformation on that fact.
But it
That's
was
it.
misinformation that he used it with Summer, and he shouldn't be digging up an infant child who has rights, privacy.
Yeah, from 20 years ago.
Even in other
Yeah,
countries, you have a right to give up a child, no questions asked, and for no information to be given out.
exactly.
And
So I don't know how they would get that information unless someone told them.
it's none of their
Um,
business, and it's misinformation to spread it. That's her
yeah,
story.
without facts. And that's why I'm not going to say it's a fact because I don't know it to be true or accurate. All I know is what I've seen by the professionals, the real legit professionals, and it was 8 children.
It's
I
not my
don't have
business.
anything factual other than Justin, and I'm sorry, but I'm not using him for facts.
It's only Candace's business whether she gave up a baby or not. Nobody's.
Yeah,
Nobody's. So he shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong.
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
All right, I'm going to go. I love the chat. I hope to see you guys in a live chat soon so I can chat
Yeah, that'd be nice.
after I eat something that's not on the no eat list.
Well, watch Molly eat. That'll turn you off. That's a great diet. I don't care about people eating online while they're
Oh, that's
streaming.
so gross.
Just shut off your camera.
So gross.
Just shut off your camera. I don't want to see you gorging yourself.
I don't want to see
Eating like
anybody
a
eating.
Yeah, just shut off your camera. Go ahead and eat your food. Do you?
Or other things.
But just shut
Cleaning
your
your
camera off.
teeth. I don't want to see you cleaning your teeth.
Oh
I don't want to
God,
see you
no.
scratching your butt. I don't want to see you belch. I don't want to see you fart.
Yeah. And I don't care if you cam up or not. Honestly, that's not going to matter in me watching you. I cam up sometimes, and sometimes I don't. But yeah, not today though.
Not today.
Um,
Not today, people. Not today.
yeah. I jumped out the shower and got on here. Didn't even have time to fix my hair and my makeup. Okay, you little monsters, what do you want? Okay, I'm joking. I'm not abusing my children in any way.
I love you all, and there's going to be a new song coming out. The new song is for T. Marie.
Oh, okay.
It's what's the song? She knows. I can't even remember. I'm so tired.
My daughter is on this ramen noodle kick.
Ew.
I swear, my 7.5
They
year
have
old,
wax in them. You know that?
I don't like ramen noodles.
They have
And I
wax.
don't know. Well, she was at a friend's house because I rarely let her go anywhere, but I know this mom. They live right around the corner because I'm one of them helicopter moms. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I keep them real close to me. But I let her go over there for an hour play date, and apparently they had ramen noodles, and now that's all she talks about. That's all she wants because I don't make that kind of crap.
Ugh.
I cook real food for them. Yeah, I'll do the sandwich thing for lunch, or if I cook a big meal for lunch, then we have a light dinner.
Let me
Then they eat again. So,
let me sit here starving and you talk about food.
yeah. Well, she just informed me that because she had lunch at 11 o'clock, we missed lunch, so she wants more.
See? It's probably some type of a law that I shouldn't go without coffee for 4 hours either.
Oh, see, I only do coffee in the morning. The coffee don't do nothing for
I
me.
love coffee.
It doesn't. I don't get that caffeine rush, or I could drink a cup of coffee and go right to sleep. It's never done anything for me.
I'm going to give
And
you,
when
I'm going to tell everybody a secret. It's a secret. Don't let anybody know, but I can be bribed with coffee and good chocolate. I can be bribed. I'm not going to lie. That's the easiest way to bribe me.
Hey, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki. I always say that because
Oh, he
Kathy said
loves
it.
his little laugh. And Nikki O'Shea, she's cool. I like her. Another one, I love her little laugh.
All right, I'm off,
But I have
guys.
to be on.
I love
All right,
y'all.
T. Kelly, thanks for
I'm
coming
out.
up. All right. My little one, he has got the sweetest laugh. But I got to be honest with y'all. It's a lot raising littles at my age. But I'm doing it. They keep me young. They keep me moving. I should be the grandma, but I'm not. I'm the mom. So, what cracks me up is people will look at me like, "How did you do it? How did you have kids at your age?" I just look at them and say, "It's my secret. I'll never tell." I mean, if you're crazy enough to stand there and think that this woman, almost 60 years old, gave birth to these two, then you don't need an answer for that question. You know? That drives me nuts. And then my dog is out here. He's going to start, my cat and dog. What are you two doing? Bubblicious. Get out of the sun. Why are you laying in the sun panting to death? Come over here, Bubblicious. Bubble boy. Come here. Here. Not you, Sir Duke. You'll come over here and bite me. And my cat likes to nip at you. Did you ever try the Cinnabon creamer? No, Gina, I'm really just a plain Jane with coffee. I just like your standard, lots of sugar and a little bit of regular cream. I'm not a big coffee connoisseur. Like I said, I drink a cup in the morning and I'm good. I don't, and I probably just do it just out of habit. When I used to work uh, running as a medic all the time, my breakfast used to be a can of, at 5 o'clock in the morning would be a can of Pepsi and a bag of barbecue potato chips. Because I'm not a morning person and that would wake me up. And somehow I always got stuck on the 24-hour shifts that started at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why I did that to myself. T. Marie, can you drop? Yeah. I want to make sure you can read restream, chat, and restream. Yeah, she just didn't know how to do. She was on her phone. She didn't know how to bring it up. Um, I actually, honestly, T. Marie, thank you for putting that in the chat. You're awesome. Um, I honestly like the audio and the video quality better in Restream than the way StreamYard's been running lately. And StreamYard seems to use a lot more bandwidth than Restream. But I was out of my time for StreamYard, so I had no choice but to use Restream. But I started with Restream on my iPad because you can stream from a mobile device loading content with Restream you can't with StreamYard. And with Restream you're allowed up to 5 minutes if unless you upgrade your plan. So you're limited on what you can share unless you upgrade your plan, but at least you can share something. But for some reason, even with Restream or StreamYard, anytime I try to share a photo, it won't do it. And I don't know why. I got to figure that out. You'll like T. Kelly. She's got some good music videos. She does a lot. She did the intro for today's live. And she did the intro for me with the stuff I sent her for Tata Tata too. Tata Tata's one live. It was a good intro. With the and she did the circus one too. She's very talented. But again, everybody, I am sorry. I'm not misspoken. I'm not trying to spread misinformation. If I got that wrong, I will correct it. But like I said, everything factual, actual facts that I could find was 8. I couldn't find anything about 9. So, and I'm not going to use Spanky as factual. Sorry, just not going to do it. But I also don't want to be one spreading misinformation either, because that's what I was trying to prevent. And I wasn't trying to exploit anything. I was trying to show how he's exploiting this child. I don't even think I turned monetization on. I probably did. I don't know, but I'm not worried about it because I don't. I'm not a tragedy pimp, and I had an issue with. that someone, this Steven dude, came in here saying I was I am not a tragedy pimp. I don't pimp off these tragedies. I can hear the same. Yeah, I can't believe he's live again with her. Oh my god! It's probably going to amp up, you know, with the live, you know, with the anniversary just being a couple days away. But I'm just wondering, he's still saying he's going to Tennessee. I'm wondering if who he's going down there with. And I don't know. I don't think Molly will go, but who knows? Molly's telling everybody that YouTube wants her back, that they actually called her to reinstate her channel. I don't believe that. Not for one red second. Because let's face it, even though Molly had 80K plus subs, she's still a small channel to YouTube. There's some huge channels on YouTube. And I just don't believe that they reached out to her to reinstate her channel. I think it's her delusion. She would like that to happen, but I don't believe it. I haven't checked to see if I got any more. See what she's posting in her Patreon. Let me check. She posts some crap in there. It's unbelievable. Mm-mm-mm. Let me see. But yeah, she said that YouTube wants her back. Oh, she's posting. I'm not bothering anything then, and I know I will not. Oh, she's not going to Rogersville. I moved on from the Wells case and true crime. All I care about is an update. I don't see any reason to continue on other than that. Okay, yeah, that's not true. Um, must be nice to sleep all day. I heard you. Yeah, she's a trip. I don't believe YouTube reached out to her. Sorry, I just don't. Oh, she's posting about George Michael. Okay. 8 rules of love, Jay Shetty. Oh, please. He wants your money. He don't know nothing about you other than that. And then she posted a picture of herself. I think it was Greece. Oh my gosh. She's a trip. Does she really expect people to believe that YouTube contacted her? Mm-hmm. That's funny. I haven't fought to get my channel back because of all the drama and the roaches on YouTube. Oh, the hell you didn't. I'll never believe that. Never believe that. Molly's fought. She appealed it. Don't tell me she didn't. I'll never believe she didn't. What's funny is the most dangerous man in the world, Walnuts, Wally Boy, couldn't get her channel back. Tells you a lot right there. At least it does me. Oh well. Such is life. She can continue doing her kick streams. She claims she makes more money over there anyway. She's colorful, I'll give her that. It's really funny what a big imagination she has. Yeah. No way. Yeah, I hear you, T. You can put chat overlay on. Oh, okay. Well, I'll do that next time. Oh, if Molly could come back, she'd be on. She'd be on here within seconds of getting me okay. And what she's doing is she's feeling out the waters to see how much she can get away with posting on her kids' channel, because she's using that to go leave nasty comments. And she did upload that little thing from Greece, which, she'll lose that channel too. I don't even think that one's in her name. Is T. Marie the famous Tiffany Marie? No. And I don't believe I'm always friends with her either. Molly pays to be at these 90 con things. And they know she's going to pay the most for the most expensive ticket, the most pay for all the photos and autographs. They know that. That's what they see. They don't see her. They see the dollar signs. She needs to get out of the 90s. She really needs to get out of the 90s. Well, guys, I've been on here far too long. I thank you all for hanging out for me. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. But thanks, everybody.